What I'm going to do is fix the taxes. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% taxes. If they just pay 24% or 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raised $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with look, we finally beat Medicare. Oh, hey. What's up, Gears? Yo, this nigga, this nigga Biden got me disappointed, man. This nigga Biden got me disappointed. I think he lost the election, but no, I'm kind of trolling. I don't think he lost the election, but you can't win the election with a performance like that. Like that didn't win him anything, right? If anything, it made people who didn't pay attention say Joe Biden's out of his goddamn mind. Anyone who's standing next to him while he's talking is giving him too much credit. This motherfucker needs help. Like, look, I'm gonna play this intro real quick, and then I wanna play a little bit of this speech he did today, because apparently reading transcripts and drugs helps him out. Yeah, I was reading the Joe Biden transcript. Listen, I had to get the transcript to figure out what the hell he was talking about, because when you read it, it makes a little bit more sense than when he's trying to say it. He's stuttering and muttering, and it doesn't make any damn sense. Yeah, he definitely lost that debate. Anyway, I'm gonna play my intro shit, and then we're gonna watch Joe Biden on drugs today. Read from the teleprompter and get the shit done right. Yo, what's going on? Let's see where we at here. Shit, I apologize for these technical difficulties. I apologize. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Hey, hey. Now the rule, indomitable human. The rule was that they couldn't have notes, but they can take notes, and that's what you're supposed to do. Like I'm terrible at this, right? When I'm talking to somebody, I probably should write shit down, or especially when I'm having a debate or an argument, I should probably write shit down, so that way I'm not so anxious to like interrupt and say what the fuck I got to say. Like somebody say something, I want to respond to that thing they just said right now. I don't want to have to wait. And so he's taking notes. He's writing down, and sometimes you can see him as when Trump starts talking, he starts writing down shit. But that's all it was. He didn't have any notes, but he was. I don't know if he was ill prepared or over prepared or what the hell it was, right? But when I first started watching it, I was like, he's trying to recite these things that he's memorized, and he didn't memorize them. So he's fucking it up. He's fucking it up. And halfway through the damn thing, I said, all he has to do to win the debate is just respond to whatever Trump said without even using any facts, because Trump hasn't given a single fact. And the joke, if Joe Biden loses the election, it won't be because he doesn't have a plan. It's because he can't remember what the fuck it was. It'll be because he can't remember what it was. Donald Trump doesn't have a plan. Donald Trump's plan is, if I'm in charge, it'll be better. If I'm in charge, everybody will stop doing stuff that's bad for our country, and everybody will give us everything that we ever wanted in any kind of a deal, because I'm at the head of the table. Now, it didn't happen the last time, but apparently this time it'll definitely happen. But I was disappointed in Joe, and I didn't. That part that I read, it's like the first damn minute of the debate, and I was like, this motherfucker is out of his mind. He's out of his mind. What the hell is he talking about? Like, it's over for Joe. It's over for Joe, and I know everybody in the back is face palming, and it's hard to come back from that. And it's like, it took him maybe like 15 minutes to kind of even get warmed up to where his responses seemed like normal. You know, I'm not sure if he had some canned responses for what Trump said, and when he tried to spit it out, he got tongue-tied or twisted or just couldn't fucking remember. But whatever it was, he should have abandoned that strategy immediately. And I'm disappointed in the people that got him ready. If they spend a week getting him ready, memorizing these things, they should have told him before he walked out there, Trump is just going to bullshit and speak off the cuff. So just go out there and bullshit. You don't need any facts to debate Trump or Trump supporters. You only need to know enough about how much he's fucked it up, the things that he's really trying to do, to respond in that way. Like, no, you're lying. This is what you're really trying to do. No, you're lying. This is what really happened. Donald Trump said that he had the best environmental statistics ever without stating any statistics. And then he says, they just told me before I came out here, it's true. And Joe Biden starts talking about fucking Paris. He starts talking about something that doesn't have anything to do with anything. He should have said, this guy just said he had the best environmental statistics in history, when his entire platform was removing regulations on environmental and climate improvements. Everything he did was to make the environment worse. So please explain, what did you do to make it better? Explain the statistics that you're talking about, because we don't know what you're talking about. That's how I would debate him. I would put it right on him. No one knows what you're talking about. Please explain what stat you mean when you say that. But Joe Biden is like, I don't know where the hell he was. And if I had a friend call me this morning and was like, man, I think I might have to vote for Trump. I think I might have to vote for Trump. I don't know if I could vote for Biden like that. I don't know how people let him go out there like that. He seemed kind of crazy. I was going through the drive-thru and I was talking on the phone, and the lady in the drive-thru window was like, yeah, Joe Biden looked kind of bad. I was thinking about Trump too. I said, you vote for Trump and you're going to stay in your black job in this damn McDonald's drive-thru. You better vote for Joe Biden, damn it. Never come back to this McDonald's again if I hear you voted for Trump. But the thing that disappointed me the most, right? And I say this about Trump and Trump supporters, that they don't live in reality. That, you know, we all can watch the same thing and walk away with a different perspective. And I watched like Midas Touch videos, which I'm gonna have to pull back on this damn Midas Touch shit, right? I turn it on and they're like, "Oh man, Joe Biden did great. Donald he destroyed." And I'm like, "No, were you guys watching the same damn show I was watching? Were you watching the same damn show I was watching? Because the show that I was watching, it looked like fucking Joe Biden got kicked in the nuts for 90 minutes straight because he couldn't get his words out. He couldn't speak coherently." And he lost us in the beginning. A lot of people probably were turned off by the fact that what he said didn't make sense. And he did it like 3 or 4 times where he just halfway through his statement, he just loses his train of thought. He just forgets the point that he was trying to make. And then he just says some bullshit. And then it's a layup for Trump. It's a layup for Trump because he doesn't have to do anything. Now Trump doesn't have to give a fact. He doesn't have to say, all he has to say is, look at this guy. I don't know what he's talking about, so we're just going to go on to something else. And then Donald Trump is basically giving the same stump speech he's been given for the last 3 years. It hasn't changed. So, you know, coming from Trump, this is easy for him. If you're not going to make him state exactly what his position is on something, which he would not do, all night long, he if you asked him specifically what he would do, he has no answer. He has no answer because he doesn't have a plan. His plan is, when I get in power, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out when we get there. The only thing we're trying to do now is get the damn power. And if Joe Biden took the position of, let's let him explain. I don't need to explain. Let him explain. Push it back to him. Whenever he says it was great, say, how was it so great? Tell me more. Tell me more about this great economy. What was so great about it? Right? And then force him to lie. Force him to, well, he's already going to lie anyway. But now at least he's going to have to lie with a fucking number. He's going to have to put it, he's going to have to put something on it other than just saying it was the best. I don't know how many times he said it was the best. Years say he missed the first 25 minutes. I hear that's when Biden was really fumbling. Man, he was fumbling right out the gate, dog. He was fumbling right out the gate. I mean, like that piece that I was reading, that's like the first paragraph of the damn debate. It was like he just, I don't know, man. I don't know. The drugs hadn't kicked in yet. You say Midas Touch is liberal propaganda. Yeah, no, listen, Midas Touch hates Donald Trump. I don't know where they get. I don't know how they got so much money. I don't know how they got so many subscribers so fast. But I like watching Midas Touch because I don't got time to read all these damn court briefings, and I can go there and they found the court briefings and they read the court briefings and they explain what they mean. So that's why I like them. But they hate fucking Trump. They hate him. They on his shit every day, fucking 15, 20 times a day. Joe Biden looked like he was looking in the mirror watching his own brain melt for the entire duration of the debate. It didn't start off well. That let's see, this first, what he said in this first one that was stupid. Here, let's say he said something that was real stupid in his first paragraph. Oh yeah, this one here. This is the part here where he says in the military, you know, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that when he was president. We still found ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president in this century that doesn't have any, in this decade, he corrected himself there, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did. And that's a stupid statement. And it's a stupid statement for Joe Biden to even bring up. Because Afghanistan, the exit of Afghanistan has left a sour taste in the mouth of Americans. And 13 Americans, I believe it was 13, died. So for him to say I'm the only president that hasn't had anybody die, bullshit. You forgot about Afghanistan. You forgot about Afghanistan. Now, if I were debating and I was going to talk about Afghanistan, I would say we wouldn't have been in this position in Afghanistan if he didn't make a deal with the Taliban. No troops were killed in Afghanistan for 9 months because Donald Trump made a deal with the Taliban. The deal with the Taliban basically took him up to the end of his presidency. And he basically set me up. So if he remains president, he says, we'll renegotiate the deal, or he was never going to pull out of Afghanistan anyway. But if the next president takes over, he's screwed. And that's what he did, right? And if I was on the debate stage, if I were Joe Biden, that's what I would have said. This dude set me up. He set me up for failure. And then he stands on the sideline when it goes bad and says it wouldn't happen to me. Well, bullshit, it wouldn't happen to you. You wouldn't even have pulled out of Afghanistan. You had no intent to leave Afghanistan. So, Joe Biden, I don't know who got this motherfucker ready, right? I don't know who got him ready, but whoever got him ready, whatever facts they was giving him. What's up, Amber? Isn't he the only president of this decade? You know, you might have a point there, Amber. See, he wasn't lying. He was just saying some wild shit that didn't make no sense. He was just saying some wild shit that didn't make no sense. But I don't know, man. If you're a person who never watched a debate before and you turned it on and you thought that was what a presidential debate was supposed to be, you'd be like, first off, there's no way the other guy can be president. Joe Biden looks like a fucking anyone's grandpa who was woken up out of his sleep and he was dreaming about peeing on himself or something. I don't know. Like, he doesn't look presidential at all. And it's mostly due to his age. It's mostly due to his age. But it's like, he has to do better, and the people around him have to do better of making sure that when he's in public, he's prepared. I was listening to someone talk today, and they were kind of chastising and giving the Democrats a hard time, like, yo, y'all need to get somebody else out here, because if I'm supposed to pick the president because he can make decisions and be sharp and negotiate with other world leaders, and this isn't the person who I want to send in there. This isn't the guy. Weekend at Bernie's, exactly. This is not the guy who I want to send in there to have this discussion. Like we'll have to find someone else to handle this. I'm perfectly willing to accept that if Joe Biden or Donald Trump are elected president, neither one of them are going to be in charge. It's going to be somebody else. My perspective is I'd rather the people who are Joe Biden's puppets be in charge over the people that are Donald Trump's puppets. Because Donald Trump's puppets are neo-Nazis, fascists, fucking white Christian nationalists who want to overthrow the government. And I don't know if I like that deal. I don't know if I like that deal better. So I'd rather stick with the whoever the swamp the swamp things are that are controlling Joe Biden. But yeah, that's I saw this earlier today. I thought it was kind of funny. Joe Biden explaining how he's a gaffe machine, and he's trying to explain about how it's not that bad. The stuff that I forget isn't really that important. It's just some details, but it makes you look stupid, Joe. I'm sorry. It makes you look like you're and now. Maybe when he was younger, it made him look stupid, but now that he's older, it makes him look old.
Do you in the last few weeks, you've confused New Hampshire for Vermont, said Bobby Kennedy and MLK were assassinated in the late 70s, assured us I'm not going nuts. Follow-up question, are you going nuts?
Look, the reason I came on the Jimmy Kimmel show is because I'm not. I mean,
Now look, that was a good joke right there. That was a good joke. That was good timing. That was good. Now this is 4 years ago. This is 4 years ago. But that was really good timing he had right there. His joke came in right on time. Like, I don't know if they told him this what we're going to say, this is what you say, but it worked.
I got it. Hey, look.
Okay, fine. No, I'm fine. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Good. I mean, what the
that's
hell?
going to make the rest of this easier. Is it fair or unfair to get after you because of your gaffes?
Look, I think it's fair to go after a political figure for anything, okay? I mean, we stand up and that comes with the territory. But here's the deal. Any gaffe that I have made, and I've made gaffes like every politician I know has, have been not about a substantive issue, been about other, I'm trying to talk about what other people have done. Like,
So, and just listening to him talk, right, in this interview from 4 years ago, his voice is stronger. He looks healthier. You know, I mean, it was 4 years ago, right? So you have to expect he's gonna get older, but I mean, clearly, like his brain is sharper. He's talking faster. When you watch him now, he speaks much slower, softer. He appears to be weaker, you know, but he's 80 something. I don't know how old he is. He's old as shit, and so it's hard for me to say, like when he ran this time, that I thought, but now that they decided that he's the only option we got, I said it's selfish of someone. I'm not sure if it's him, or if I'm not sure if it's the Democratic Party and saying we want to hold some of these other people back. But to me, I say it's time. To me, I say it's time. Just listening to this and listening to him talk last night, I say he was better then than now, and it's probably time, unless we want to have Grandpa up there and let someone else run it while he sits at the table and pretends like he's still in charge. I don't know.
for example, they made a big deal of my saying that I pinned a medal on two people. Well, I did, but anyway, I pinned a medal on two people and the dates, etc.
Well, they said that the branch of the military was wrong and the date was wrong and the act he was awarded for was wrong and the medal was wrong. And what position you held at the time was all of those were fact checks for you, and you said that details don't.
No, here's the deal, because I was not talking about me. I was praising what the valor of all these people out there that I've visited in over 20 visits in that.
Yeah, it seems like, you know what I'm saying, he got his answer down for how he screwed that up so badly. And apparently he did the same thing today. I listened to a little bit of this earlier today, maybe like the first 4 or 5 minutes, and I was like, maybe they got him juiced up with the right drugs, or maybe he's a morning person. So getting started early versus later. Maybe he had a couple of cups of coffee. But whatever it was that he was able to do to get prepared for this speech, along with the teleprompter, he was able to put on a good performance. And if we can get this Joe Biden, while he's talking off the cuff, while he's just speaking, without a teleprompter, without a earpiece in, without reading from notes, and we can get him to talk like this, people will be able to say, this is the guy who can be the leader. But if he can't do this without reading, he's in serious fucking trouble. We are in serious trouble.
Here's President Biden.
Thank you.
Wait, we are in serious trouble if you think that Joe Biden should be president, or if you don't think that Donald Trump. At this point, it's the same thing to me. Whether you believe Joe Biden should be president, or whether you think that Donald Trump shouldn't be the president, it's the exact same thing. Like, I've never been a fan of Joe Biden. I voted for Biden against Trump, but fuck. People like Biden. I always thought he was full of shit. To be honest with you, my opinion, I think he's full of shit. But I detest Donald Trump. I detest Donald Trump, and I don't want to see him win in anything. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't want him to win, and I especially don't want him to become the president again. I don't like his policies, or he doesn't really have any. But the things that he's willing to do when he gets power, if you trade him money, I don't want to find out. So I'm a never Trumper, and I'm always going to be on that side, and no one could convince me otherwise. So there's no debate.
Thank you, North Carolina.
Now this face that he makes, right? This face, this old man, is like, he's got to fix that. Like, they've got to put him in front of the mirror and say, this is what your face looks like. Don't do this anymore. You have to stop making this old man puppet face. You look crazy. He has to stop doing it. Someone has to get him, Jill has to get him to stop. It's only Jill can solve this problem. You gotta stop making that face, Joe. You look like you're 117 years old.
I'm gonna get in trouble with my mom looking down in heaven if I don't say, please excuse my back. I apologize. It's good knowing you have my back. Eric.
Hey, listen. I know Biden didn't want the audience last night. He probably could have used this crowd last night to wake his ass up. He needed someone, someone to wake us. He's awake now. He's got a couple cups of coffee. He's awake.
Thanks for that introduction. We had a wonderful time spending time with your sons, Kristen and Carter. We're going to grow up to be incredible young men. You would have been really impressed the way they talked about their dad, how informed they were about what was going on. I was truly impressed. And I ate 2 hamburgers. And a special thanks to Roy and Kristen Cooper. Roy, you've been a great governor. Which makes it all the more important that North Carolina elected a great governor to replace you, Josh Stein.
If you live in North Carolina, you gotta vote. You live in North Carolina, you gotta vote. This lunatic. What the hell is this damn lunatic's name? The lieutenant governor of North Carolina is absolutely insane. What the hell is this dude's name? All these black pastors that join MAGA are fucking nuts. Every single one of them. And this guy, what the hell is his name? Mark Robinson. That's his name. This guy. He's a lunatic. He's a he's just saying if you live in North Carolina, you have to vote. Like, your vote is so important that this guy does not become your governor. Insane. Mark Robinson. He's one of those guys that says that God told him that the man is the head of the household, and therefore women shouldn't have the right to vote. That's that guy.
And when I'm reelected again with your help, I want you to know that I'm not promising not to take Roy away from North Carolina. Whether they'll come or not, I don't know. And thanks to all the state and local leaders here today, the great musicians and entertainers who performed earlier. Folks, let me tell you why I'm here in North Carolina. I'm here for what?
They're like, nah, fuck that, man. We don't need you. You don't need to tell us why you're here. We got it. We got this, man. You're a little slow to the gun or the draw there.
That's okay. That's okay.
See, what he should have did last night when Trump started spitting that bullshit, right? Instead of trying to spit a bunch of facts, he should have just looked at him and smiled, laughed at him. Look at this fucking clown, like he just did right there.
I'm here in North Carolina for one reason, because I intend to win this state in November. Are you going to see that? I think we.
A very powerful statement followed by the only person in America with a summer head cold.
We are. And Roy's right. We win here, we win the election. And here's how we're going to do it. We're going to stand up for the women of America. We're going to restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land. We're going to stand up for the right to vote. We're going to stand up for Medicare and Social Security. We're going to fight for child care, paid leave, and elder care.
Get him some water. Look, he said something last night that really was kind of screwed up. He started talking about abortion, right? And typically, when politicians talk about abortion, they either talk about the woman's right to choose, they talk about a woman forced to have a baby through after rape or incest, but they never talk about a woman's right to get an abortion. Like they don't never say it like that. Like they don't never say you should be able to get an abortion like that, because abortion is something that most people probably are turned off by. At least half the country is. And he said it like, I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he was kind of saying it like, women should have the right to be able to have an abortion if they want to have one. And I was just like, that's not how he meant to say that. I don't think that's what he meant to say. I'm certain he probably wanted to say the right to choose. Women should have the right to choose, and the only time you're going to use the word abortion is if you're talking about rape or incest. That's it. Like, and other than that, it's just the right to choose. We're just talking about your right to choose. You can get an abortion if you want. No, Joe. That's not how we say that.
We're going to keep lowering the cost of prescription drugs, not just for seniors, but for every single American. We're going to keep protecting the Affordable Care Act, which is why more than 40 million Americans have health insurance today. They didn't before. We're going to protect our children and get the weapons of war off our streets. We're going to provide clean drinking water, affordable high-speed internet, quality education for every child in America. We're going to secure our border and protect legal immigration. And unlike the other guy, we're going to stand up to dictators like Putin, because America bows to no one ever.
All right, so I guess you're not president now, right? I guess you're not president now, and you're not going to do it until you get reelected again. Like, the showing the strength to Putin. We're not showing strength to Putin now. Right now, we're allowing Putin to do what he's going to do, and we're giving money. We're giving tools and resources to Ukraine to try to fight them back. But we're not really doing anything to Putin, right? And so we're not really showing strength. I wouldn't say that if you gave him 4 more years, like, what would you say you're going to do? You're going to keep giving money to Ukraine? To that shows Putin. Like, the sanctions didn't really work. They even kind of reduced some of the sanctions, and we're still buying fucking oil from them. So I don't know what he's talking about there,
folks. And we're going to keep dealing with the...
Not that Trump is going to do something different. So it wouldn't matter whether it was Biden or Trump. Like, it wouldn't be a difference there. Same.
Climate crisis. Look, more than anything, we're going to preserve, protect, and defend our democracy. Because more than anything else, that is what is at stake in America this election. Your freedom, your democracy. America itself is at stake. Now, folks, I don't know what you did last night, but I spent 90 minutes on the stage debating the guy who has the morals of an alley cat.
Like, indomitable human doesn't like that, morals of an alley cat, but I get it. I understand what he's trying to. He's trying to hit Trump without saying the disgusting shit that Trump's done. Trump said related tearing babies apart limb by limb during late-term abortion. Nobody wants that. Not Democrats and not Republicans. Joe Biden response, that's a damn lie. That's not true. Okay. So, indomitable human, do you believe what Donald Trump says when Donald Trump says that people are having abortions after the babies are born? Do you believe that? Do you believe that people are giving birth to babies at 9 months and then they're performing an abortion? Because that's what Donald Trump is saying.
Did you see Trump last night? My guess, he set, I mean it sincerely, a new record for the most lies told in a single debate. He lied about the great economy he created. He lied about the pandemic he botched, killing millions of people. He closed businesses. He closed schools, losing their homes, people all over this country. America was flat on its back. So I told Trump that he was just one of 2 presidents in American history who left office with fewer jobs than he started. Herbert Hoover was the other one.
And down to a human, it says, I believe that Democrats support abortion to that extent. I'm not sure what you mean there, and that's the point Trump was making. I believe that what Donald Trump says is not true because he can't show where what he's saying has actually ever happened. He can't show it. No one else can show it. You can't show the law. You can't show the policy. It is not true. So the fact that he says it, right, and then if you pressed him on it, he would probably say, "Oh, I'm just using hyperbole to get my point across." But your hyperbole is not true. It's not even close to being true, right? And no one is for. I don't know anyone who's for this abortion that he's describing. That everyone can say no one should do that. So if you're describing something that everyone should be able to get behind and say no one should do that, it also should be something that actually happens, but it doesn't happen. So you're behind something that doesn't exist. So you're fighting against your own imagination, which is perfectly fine. That's what you want to do, but you can't get anyone to debate it because it ain't true. It's not true.
That's why I call him Donald Herbert Hoover Trump. And then he lied about how great he was for veterans. But then I told him how he had called a veteran who had given their lives in the country in World War I and refused to go to the grave sites. He called them suckers and losers. He tried to deny it. But let me ask you, are you going to believe a 4-star Marine general, his own former Chief of Staff, John Kelly, who said he said that? Or a disgraced, defeated, and lying Donald Trump? My son was one of those people, not in World War I, but in the Vietnam. Folks, look, how about the fact that 44...
Listen, he gets the shit wrong about his son all the time. He got it wrong right there. Your son was in World War II. But if I were debating Donald Trump, right, and I wanted to attack him on what he says about veterans, I wouldn't keep using this thing that no one can verify. I would stop using that, right? Because Donald Trump just says I never said that. I would use John McCain because there's video of him saying what he said about John McCain. I would use that because John McCain is a war hero and he was well respected by both sides. That's the person who I would point to and say, okay, he didn't say that about those people. Look what he said about this other guy. This guy was a fucking war hero. This guy's fucking John McCain. Shot down, was a prisoner of war. Tortured. Didn't give up the goat. Didn't give it up. Right? Lived the rest of his life with the disability from the impact of what happened to him when they tortured him. Right? And this is the guy who they say he's not a hero. That's what I would say. I wouldn't argue with him about whether he said what he said about those. Who gives it? Okay. On to the next thing. He's got so many of them. Let's go to the next one.
How about the fact? That's okay. How about the fact that 40 out of his 44 top advisors, including the vice president, aren't supporting him this time around? The people who know him best, 40 of them said, I will not support the man I work for this time around. It tells you a lot about the person who knows him. Look.
Mark Kelly. Who's Mark Kelly? Who's Mark Kelly and why is he important to me? I don't know. Mark Kelly believes in nationwide abortion on demand up until the moment of birth with zero limits. I don't know how true it is. I don't even know what Mark Kelly is, but okay. I'll look
He
it up.
lied about how great he was on crime. I had to remind him that he oversaw a record increase in murder rates in 2020. On my watch, violent crime has hit a 50-year low. There's more to do with the 50-year low. And then I pointed out that the only convicted criminal on the stage last night was Donald Trump. When I thought about his 34 felony convictions, his sexual assault on a woman in a public place, his being fined $400 million for business fraud, I thought to myself, Donald Trump isn't just a convicted felon. Donald Trump is a one-man crime wave.
I like that one. One man cry wave. Okay. So Mark Kelly, senator from Arizona, he is co-sponsor of the Women's Health Protection Act. So I've got to put it up in front of me, and I'm pretty certain that when I read this Women's Health Protection Act, it's going to say what you just said. He says on-demand abortion up until the moment of birth with zero limits. I'm 100% certain that when I read this, that is going to say what you say it said. I'm being facetious. I know it doesn't say what you say it said, but I'm going to read it anyway while Joe Biden's talking and see if I can see where it says abortion on demand up until the moment of birth with zero limits.
He's got more trials. He's got more trials coming up. Well, time for that. Look, the thing that bothers me maybe most about him, he has no respect for women or the law. He doesn't. And then, his biggest lie, he lied about how he had nothing to do with the insurrection of January 6th. We all saw with our own eyes. We watched it on television. We saw thousands in his direction attack the Capitol. We saw police being attacked, the Capitol being ransacked, the mob hunting for Speaker Pelosi, gallows literally set up for Mike Pence. And then he told them as he sat in the dining room, the private dining room, one door off my Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours watching on TV. He did not a single thing to stop it. Nothing. Nothing at all. And now he wants to pardon all those convicted and criminals.
Yeah, that's a good one there. Let's pardon all these people who we got on video fighting cops and hitting people over the head with fucking clubs and sticks and staffs. We should let them go. It seems like a losing argument for any person to run for president. You should be able to just run the January 6th videos of people committing crimes and say the president, this guy who wants to run for president, wants to let all these people out. At least half the people got to be like, man, no. No, those people should stay in jail. They should be punished for those crimes.
But folks, for all his lies, we learned some important truths about Donald Trump last night. We learned he's still proud of being the person who killed Roe v. Wade. We learned he's still proud about the pain and cruelties inflicted on America's women. We learned he still believes that politicians, not doctors and women, should make decisions about a woman's health. We learned that if he's elected again and the MAGA Republicans pass a national ban on abortion, he will sign it. Donald Trump says he thinks overturning Roe v. Wade was a beautiful thing. I think it was a nightmare. No, I really mean it, a nightmare. And I made it clear again last night that if you elect me and Kamala, you give us a Democratic Congress, we will make Roe v. Wade the law of the land again.
All right, so indomitable human, right? I don't know where you get your information from. I'm not going to get. I don't know where you get it from, right? Everyone he coughs and clears his throat because he's trying to squeeze out more bush. Yeah, he's probably right there. It says, where is it at? I just read it. The bill prohibits other governments similar to the MP. I just read it. Government may not require patients to make medically unnecessary in-person visits before receiving abortion services or disclose their reasons for obtaining such services. So you don't have to do anything to get it. If you want to get one, you can get one. The government may not prohibit abortion services before fetal viability, right? Now, this is determined in every state. What this fetal viability is different in every state. But the government may not prohibit it prior to fetal viability, right? So when you say believes in nationwide abortion on demand up until the moment of birth with zero limits, well, there's the limit right there, right? Fetal viability is the limit, right? This is coming from the bill. This is the actual congress.gov site. This is the actual bill. You can go to the text and read the entire text if you want. This is the summary of it. It says right here, the government may not prohibit abortion services before fetal viability, which means that they can prohibit it after fetal viability. And that number is determined by different states. Some states it's 12, 8, heartbeat, whatever that number is. It also says after fetal viability, right? This is the late term abortion that you're talking about. When a provider determines that pregnancy risks the patient's life or health. So it does not say what you said, because what you said is that on demand up until the moment of birth with zero limits. And right there, it shows you the limit. Fetal viability. There is a limit. And the only time we're going to go beyond fetal viability is if the mother's or the patient's life or health. So what you're saying is bullshit. Wherever you got it from was also bullshit. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine, but just know that you were wrong. Just know you were wrong. Back to Biden.
He continued to lie. He said, I quadruple taxes. Where the hell has he been? Which is a simple lie. I didn't raise a tax on anyone in America if they made less than $400,000 a year.
Hey, first off, Joe Biden, when you say that, you got to put that whole sentence together. You got to say, I didn't raise taxes for anyone who didn't make more than $400,000 in a year. You can't say I didn't raise taxes for anyone that didn't make $400,000 a year. Wait, hold on a second. Wait, it's not you say you didn't raise taxes for anyone, but you did. You raised taxes for those that made over $400,000 a year, which is a very low percentage of Americans, but it's still a significant number.
And I won't in my second term either. We learned that Trump, who had the largest deficit of any president in 4 years because of the $2 trillion tax cut to the super wealthy, we learned that Trump wants to give another giant tax cut for the very wealthy and the biggest corporations. This time, $5 trillion, not a joke, $5 trillion. To pay for it, he's going to cut Medicare and Social Security.
Now that's the thing that gets me, right? That poor people who require these services, he's convinced them to say, yes, we need more of these tax cuts. That's the part that gets me. You're talking to someone who's living on a social welfare or homeless or some other type of ridiculous situation of poverty, but they support Trump because they're like, Trump's going to cut taxes. They're like, well, that ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? That tax cut's not for you, and it ain't going to help you in any kind of a way. Unless Trump starts hiring homeless people.
He'll cut health care. He'll do it all with millions of working middle-class Americans all pay for another tax cut for the very wealthy. Then, to add insult to injury, he wants to raise taxes on the average family $2,500 a year. What amounts to a new 10% sales tax on all products imported in America. That's his new plan for food, coffee, candy bars, and so much more. It's going to raise the taxes on the average family $2,500 a year. And most dangerously, though, we learned that Donald Trump will not respect this year's election outcome. He's still not respecting the last time out. Well, think about it. Every court in Nuance ruled that it was a fair election. He's still denying it, still telling lies. 3 times Trump was asked last night by the moderators, would he respect the election results if he lost this time? 3 times he refused to answer. 3 times. Folks, Donald Trump refused to accept the results in 2020. We all saw what happened on January the 6th. It's a direct consequence of that. It was an international embarrassment. By the way, as I go to these international meetings, I know every major world leader, and I literally, because I've been around, as you might have noticed. But they...
Look, this it's not what Biden's talking right now. How the hell, right? How the hell does Donald Trump, who's supposed to be a strong leader, he's supposed to be a strong leader, escape responsibility on everything? And this is just like, this thing about January 6th, thinking about COVID. Last night in his opening remarks, he said something that to me I thought was stupid. But I mean, a lot of stuff Trump says is stupid. But he said something like, let's see. He says, we got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. He did do that. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got credit for, and this is the part, the thing we never got credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. What's up, Black? So Donald Trump says he never got credit for getting us out of the COVID mess, but when he left the presidency, we was in the middle of the COVID mess. So what is he talking about? He fast forwards to the end and say, hey, I should get credit because it ended, because of the stuff that I did while I was president, but it ended 2 years after you were president. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me anyway. Hey, Black, I'll let me play this Joe Biden while I pull that up.
They asked me, did he really mean this? Was this real? It caused a constitutional crisis and international embarrassment. Now, Trump is making it clear that if he doesn't win this time, there will be, in his words, bloodshed. But no president has ever said anything like that. No president. His words, not mine. We're going to let Donald Trump attack our democracy again? I don't think so.
Tell him, Joe.
Folks. We've come a long way from the message.
Yeah, but that was for him to say we never got credit for getting us out of the COVID mess. When he left presidency, we was in the middle of it. How do you get credit for getting us out of it? Donald Trump created that Operation Warp Speed, but because Donald Trump doesn't have the infrastructure set up within his administration to actually get things done, they couldn't distribute the shot as quickly as it needed to be distributed. Now, you can look back on it 4 years later and say that it didn't even work. Maybe it doesn't work. I don't know. I'm not even going to talk about the Ralph Northam thing. It is... Okay, so Indomitable Human. The question I ask you is, it says the infant would be delivered, the infant would be kept comfortable, the infant, and then it cuts off right there, right? What infant are they talking about in this story that you're talking about? What is the infant that you're describing? Because what you're saying isn't fair, right? What you're saying isn't fair when you're saying this is a child that is born that is not going to survive. That if we did nothing to this child, it would die. That's the person that's what you're talking about. And so what you're saying is not fair when you're trying to describe a viable child being born and killed. Right? You're describing a child who's born with some type of extreme birth defect that's so intense that without extreme intervention they cannot stay alive. And in those instances, the mother can decide, do you want to put your newborn baby on a life support machine for the rest of their existence until we turn it off? Or do you want to just be able to hold your child and touch your child until they pass away? That's what you're describing. And you're trying to say that that is the plan for abortion, and that is not true. That is not. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you said. I know exactly what you're talking about. So maybe we look at that situation in two separate ways, and maybe the person who gets to be the parent of that child gets to make a decision. Do you want to put your child in a machine for the rest of their existence, or would you rather allow your child to have a natural death because they can't survive outside of the machine? You are trying to describe that as what the Democrats are trying to push for abortion, and that they should apply that to any child that's born regardless of their health status. That is not true. It is such to me it's so far outside of reality that when Black Rosebud tried to debate me on that, I just say I'm not even gonna debate you on that. I'm not even gonna talk to you about that, because what you're describing is not true. What you're describing is not true. So and he says, I don't want to. You don't want to accept the truth about what you support. I don't know anyone who supports the thing that you describe, and when I describe what you're trying to describe is not the same thing. And maybe that's the problem I have. I'm describing reality, and you're describing your wet dream. Right? I'm describing what actually happens, and you're describing something that's totally different. And you taking a soundbite of some words and said, see what this word says, but what that word was clipped out of was a whole different story about a whole nother scenario that was not a woman giving birth to a healthy child and someone putting it on a baby and putting it on a table and leaving it to die or to be murdered. That's not what that paragraph was about that you cut from. That's not what that radio interview was about, and that's not what anyone wants, but that's what the Republicans are using to describe abortion. No, I didn't say any of those things. I know exactly who Ralph Northam is. I know exactly who Ralph Northam is. I know exactly the story you're talking about. I've heard the radio interview that you're talking about, because I had to find out what the hell the Republicans were talking about. And then when I heard the entirety of what it was, I said, oh, this is just another way where someone bends the truth to try to prove a point. The same way you said Mark Kelly says that he's for abortion in any instance up to birth, which wasn't true. Not true. And once again, what you're saying is not true. Now, if you want to tell me that Ralph Northam got dressed up in blackface, or that he's married to I think his wife is like 20 years younger than him or some crazy shit. She was like a teenager or some crazy. You want to talk about that? I'll be like, man, Ralph Northam is a piece of shit. But if you want to say that Ralph Northam said that babies should be born and placed on the table, I say I don't know what you're talking about, Jack. I don't know what you're talking about. I know I did a video on Ralph Northam a couple years ago. Yeah, this guy here. Where's the picture at? I just had the picture on the screen. Where'd it go? Where's the blackface picture at? Oh, I just guess I didn't get the blackface picture. Oh well. But yeah, that guy, Ralph Northam. I know who Ralph Northam is.
Donald Trump left us. We came out of the pandemic. We're a long way from where Donald Trump telling us to inject bleach in our skin, that COVID is not that dangerous. Today we have the strongest economy in the world without exception. 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, unemployment under 4% for a record 2 years in a row. Historic black and Hispanic unemployment down. Historic creation of small businesses in black and all communities across the nation, particularly in rural areas. Historic economic growth. Inflation has dropped from 9% to 3% and is still going down.
So that's the direction.
I know we have more to do to get prices down. We have to take on corporate greed. They're making twice the profit they were before the pandemic.
Now, see, this is where I would have wanted him last night to answer this question. What are you going to do to help fix inflation? Like, how are you going to help get prices down? What is your plan to give the American people relief? And I was really hoping that he was going to say that there was going to be some kind of a tax break, that they were going to give some kind of tax relief for inflation to the citizens based on your income. You make this much money, we'll give you this kind of a tax credit to help with the price of goods because of inflation. And I would have been appreciative if they had that kind of forethought in their plan for last night, because he knew he was going to get hit with the inflation shit. But they don't have a plan, and to say that we're going to go after the corporations, well, by the time you go after them, you'll be out of office, motherfucker. By the time you get them to change their prices, you'll be gone.
We got to make housing more affordable, provide child care, make the tax code fair. 16 Nobel winners of the economic Nobel Prize have looked at my economic plan this week. They've issued a report. And Trump's plan. Here's what they concluded. They said that my plan would continue to grow the economy and bring down inflation. 16 Nobel laureates. And that Trump's plan would send the nation into recession and inflation soaring through the roof. But don't take my word for it. Folks, let me close with this. I know I'm not a young man. State the obvious.
Indomitable Human says, only a Democrat would think that the solution to inflation would be tax cuts. Donald Trump's solution to everything is tax cuts for the rich. Tax cuts for billionaires, tax cuts for corporations. I don't know what you're talking about. Indomitable Human, I don't know what you're talking about. If someone said, if I say, the solution, this is not the solution to inflation. It's not the solution to inflation. It's it's relief from the pain that people are feeling. Unless the answer that you think that people should have is they should feel the pain. You gotta let it really burn. You know what I'm saying, before you can get to a resolution. Donald Trump's solution is to provide tax cuts to the wealthy. I said they should provide some type of tax relief to the poor, to the middle class. And you say, sounds like a bad plan. Maybe we should get that money to the rich and let them solve the problem. The rich don't buy enough goods. There's not enough rich people buying enough goods in order to feel the pain of inflation. Way more regular citizens feeling the pain. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. Well,
here we go. This is Ralph Northam talking about the comments, right? Third trimester abortions are done in cases where there may be severe deformities. There may be a fetus that's non-viable. So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. Northam, a pediatric surgeon, told Washington radio station WTOP, the infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated. That's what the mother and the family desire. And then a decision would ensue between the physician and the mother. So, and when you tell your story, right, and when you cut, when you cut your piece out to tell me that this is what Ralph Northam said, and I said this is what he was talking about. Right? So you take this sentence, right, and you apply it to every birth, and I say he was only talking about this particular instance. Severe deformities and a fetus that's non-viable. So I don't know what you're talking. Like most of the time, I just be like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. You guys make most shit up. This isn't a debate. Like there's not even a discussion that can be had about this. If you don't think that there should be any abortions, then I guess you have a debate. If I'm not in that position, I'm not in that. I don't believe with that. So we have a difference of opinion about whether abortion should exist in our society. All right, and then he says, the United States experienced historic levels of revenue under the Trump administration because we had energy independence and tariffs on nefarious nations. All right, so if the United States had historic levels of revenue, as you state, then how is it that at the same time Trump also generated the greatest deficits of any president during a 4-year term in the history of presidency, in the history of our nation? Our national deficit, 1/3 of the national deficit of all the presidents of all time is associated with him. And you're telling me, you're trying to convince me that we had experienced levels of revenue under the Trump administration. Maybe we didn't have time for those things to kick in yet. Maybe that's what happened. But what we do know is that the deficit that was accrued while he was president is real. It is real. And you can look up that. The next statement is, as well as getting us out of pointless and endless wars, indomitable human, I will give you $100 right now if you tell me what war Donald Trump got us out of. If you tell me what war Donald Trump got us out of, I'll give you $100 right now. You put your Cash App in the chat. The war that Donald Trump ended. It's just something that you guys say. You used to say he didn't get us into any wars. Now you say he got us out of wars.
I don't.
Now you just trolling. Now you just trolling.
I don't walk as easy as I used to. I don't speak as smoothly as I used to. I don't debate as well as I used to.
You damn right, Joe. And it's questionable whether you was good at it before.
But I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong. And I know how to do this job. I know how to get things done. And I know, like millions of Americans know, when you get knocked down, you get back up.
Tell him, Joe.
I know what it took to take our economy from the depths of the pandemic.
All right, so indomitable human. So the war on terror is over. So he solved the war on terror, or did it stop when you left and it started when Joe Biden started? Because it sounds like just last week that the Republicans was talking about all of the terror threats that were crossing the border under Biden. So they must have stopped when Trump's president and started again under Joe.
To where it is today, the strongest economy in the world. I know what it'll take to bring this economy to everybody. I know what it'll take to rally the world, to stand up against Putin and defend freedom, not yield to him. And I know what it'll take to keep the world safe and free for the years ahead. Folks, I give you my word as a Biden, I would not be running again if I didn't believe with all my heart and soul I can do this job. Because quite frankly, the stakes are too high. The stakes are too high. Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy. He's literally a threat for everything America stands for. Look, he doesn't understand.
Hey, an indomitable human. Donald Trump agreed with the Taliban that he would reduce the troop levels to like 2,500 troops or something like that. And then the troops were in the northern part. I can't remember where they were, right? But they agreed that if they didn't kill any more American soldiers, we'd leave in March of 21. And then the Taliban, we pulled back all our troops to the north, consolidated them up there, and then the Taliban slowly, over the course of the year, took back all of the country, defeating the Afghanistani army and taking the military equipment that was at those bases. Over the course of a year, this happened. It didn't happen in 60 days after Joe Biden became president. It happened over the course of a year. Over the course of the year when Donald Trump made the agreement. And Afghanistan said, we want to attack anywhere where you are. And we said, well, we'll only be in these places, so you ain't got to worry about it. And then they slowly took back the entire country. And I can show you a map that shows the progression of the Taliban as they took back the country from the Afghanistan military, and they took over those bases and all the equipment that was in it. And Donald Trump was president when this was happening. What's up, Black Rosebud?
I'm listening to that bullshit.
You listen? This is bullshit, man. You say this is bullshit?
Hey, first of all, hey. Can we go back just a tad bit? Not all the way back, just a tad bit.
Back to where?
You said the deficit went up under Donald Trump, right?
Yep. I got it on the screen right now. I'll show it to you. Hold on a second.
Okay. Why do deficits go up?
Why did the deficits go up? I don't know. Why did the deficit go up?
Why do deficits go up?
I don't know why. They didn't generate enough money. There's a deficit generated because the budget that was created didn't cover all the costs. So the budget isn't balanced. So
question, like, if you gonna state the facts, how did Donald Trump lose the money or whatever happened to the money? Why was it a deficit under Donald Trump?
Because he cut taxes.
No, sir, that's not it.
So they didn't have a $2 trillion worth of tax cuts that reduced.
I heard you say cut taxes, right?
Yeah.
When we done the percentages on the rich and the poor, how much they pay taxes, right?
Sure.
If you cut the taxes on the rich invest. If you cut taxes on the poor buy. It's a difference, right?
Sure.
When they give a tax relief to the poor and give them stimulus checks and stuff like that, they know people are going to spend that money. When they give tax breaks to the rich, they know the rich are going to invest.
Okay,
that's how you get the.
Oh, that sounds great, but no matter what his philosophy was, the end result of it was that he increased the deficit 33% in 4 years, which is more than.
But why did he do that?
It doesn't. I mean, the why doesn't matter. The what is that the why doesn't matter because he increased the debt more than anybody else in 4 years.
Why?
Okay, how about this? Was it a good thing that he increased the debt?
Yes.
All right then. Well then, it sounds like we have a different.
So
it sounds like we have a different opinion about what should happen here. Because it sounds like
everybody on here should agree it was a good thing the deficit went up.
Why?
Everybody.
Why? Explain why it's a good thing.
Benefited.
Who benefited?
First,
Okay. All right.
First, explain why the deficit went
I don't have to explain why it went up. It went up. It went up more than anybody else. It went up more than any other president in 4 years. Right? And it doesn't matter why. It wasn't, to me, I would say this isn't a good thing. I think I lost you, Black. There you go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So I want to get into why we went into a deficit under Donald Trump, right? First of all, we had COVID, right?
Okay.
And under COVID, Donald Trump went into the federal funding and pulled out something that caused, I think it was some Patriot Act or some shit like that, right? Where he funded and built hospitals. He funded and built Warp Speed, which came up with a vaccine. He built and he built a lot of respirators, a lot of beds, right? He donated a lot of money to other countries, right? He also gave out money, right, to different businesses to keep them afloat, right? And he also done stuff like I forgot the name of the Patriot Act or some shit like that, right? Where it distributed food and other things, you know what I'm saying, to certain people, right? Under the Rescue Act, it also came up and put money into other vaccines. Some of them didn't make it. Some of them wasn't good. Some of them didn't make the market. But it put the money inside testing, right? It put the money inside of fucking fucking mask and all kind of shit for doctors and shit. Do you remember where the money went? So if Donald Trump wouldn't have spent that money and wouldn't have went in debt, imagine what condition the world or the country would have been in if Donald Trump didn't come up with Operation Warp Speed, what you so-called benefited from because your ass took a vaccine, right? If he didn't come up with the Patriot Plan, right, to come up and rescue these businesses, if he didn't buy these ventilators, build hospitals out of nowhere, like ships and shit like that, turn stadiums into damn hospitals, if he didn't do all that, what shape would the country be in?
Well, apparently he saves us then. So we should be praising him, as opposed to saying, "Damn, we really did increase our national debt $6 trillion in 4 years." We really did. We should be saying, "Well, good. Thank God for Trump." Now I'm about to show you something. Well, you can't see it, so it doesn't. You can't see it.
If you ask your question,
listen. Listen. Listen.
I see you putting the button. Ask you a simple question.
You asked me. Okay, no. Listen. I'm all right. Here we go. All right. So I'm looking at a chart, right? I'm looking at a chart right now. You can't see it, but I can. And what I see on this chart, damn, why does it keep doing that? Is that it shows there's a line for the recession. I mean, there's a line for the pandemic, right? And it does jump up after the pandemic, but there's it was on a steady incline for the time before. I need to find a better chart. I don't like this chart.
Because it wasn't on no incline.
Oh no, nigga, it was on the incline. I hate to call you. I shouldn't call you a nigga. I shouldn't have said that. My bad.
Huh. Look, what was that shit on an incline?
Look, it was
no immigration, Americans had jobs. The median was up. We wasn't in recession, so the dollar was worth more. You took home more money. You made less money.
We're not in the recession now. Are we in the recession now?
Yes, sir.
No, we're not in the recession now. We're not in the recession.
Tell that to black people that can't feed their family that they ain't on the motherfucking recession and getting the lights cut off and shit. Tell them that.
Ask them if they was having a hard time 4 years ago or 6 years ago.
No, they wasn't.
It's not. We're not in the recession, and we haven't been in a recession. We're not. Listen. Okay, wait. A recession is defined by 2 consecutive quarters of loss of GDP of contraction, and we're not in We have not had that since Joe Biden's been president. We haven't had it. We're not in a recession.
Hey, according to right, certain parts
Go
of
ahead.
the country are in a recession, right? Because certain parts of the country don't make as much as money as other parts of the country. But them same people, right, got to pay the same as gas, the same groceries. They got to pay the same bills and things like that
Sure.
after other people got to pay
Sure.
that make the money. So when you say a recession ain't hit for them people who are making a certain amount of income, recession has hit them.
I mean, that's your own personal economy is different than the economy. You can't say we're in a recession and then you say, well, we're not in a recession because this is what defines a recession. And then you say, well, I'm in a recession. Well, that's your personal recession. That's not everybody.
And to these people, right? Right? If somebody's struggling, right, and then the economy, because the economists can twist the words however they want to twist it, right?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because most of the economists are so-called Democrats. If you look them up, most of the so-called economists, they're
Sure.
Democrats. I think 83% of them are.
Oh wait.
90%
Wait. So now the economy, the mathematics is liberal.
Huh?
You're telling me that mathematics is liberal now? All right.
What that got to do with mathematics?
Okay. We're gonna do some mathematics. We're gonna do some liberal mathematics right now, right? It says.
Yeah.
So I have in front of me this is the national debt and billions, right? In 2017, Donald Trump was elected and became president in 2017, right? They raised the debt ceiling to $20 billion. And then Trump tax cuts 2018, it went to $21.5 billion. Then 2019, there was a trade wars. Now we're at the $22.7 billion. So it sounds like we was developing, the national debt was growing the entire time. It didn't just start. It didn't just pop up during COVID. Now during COVID, 2020, it went from 22 to 26. But we're already trending in the other direction. Trump's tax cuts didn't help. It didn't reduce the debt or the deficit or generate revenue. It didn't. It didn't.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What did Joe Biden tax gains do?
Joe Biden
Taxing the rich.
Joe Biden didn't change the tax code that much. Donald Trump's
What did that do?
Donald Trump's tax cuts are still there.
I'm asking you a question.
He didn't change it. Donald Trump's tax cuts are still there.
Right? And he talk, and why he hasn't you don't think Joe Biden could have changed the tax cuts anytime he wanted to?
They expire next year.
But I'm asking you a question.
I don't know that answer. I don't know.
Google it.
I don't know if Joe Biden could change it or not. He didn't.
Donald Trump made a perfect point in the thing about something about the tariffs in China and the tax cuts, right?
Sure.
He said, "Why you haven't cut my tariffs on China, Joe? Because you're making a lot of money."
Well, I don't.
Joe didn't say shit. Why you haven't cut my tariffs on China, Joe?
But it sounds like you and Donald Trump don't know how tariffs work. And Joe Biden explained how tariffs work perfectly last night. But it doesn't matter, because if you believe that when you put a tariff on goods, it raises income for the government, all it does is raise the cost for the people that pay it.
Hello?
Yo, you hear me?
Yeah.
And
Donald Trump also told you some shit on that, because when you also cut the American company taxes, them companies or them so-called businesses that was doing business in China, they also moved their companies back to the United States because they got a tax cut. So you go up on foreign goods coming in, and you go down on domestic goods staying in.
Okay, so where is this happening at in such a high number that you're like, oh wow, look at that, 50,000 more jobs came back to America from China? Where'd that happen at? Where'd that happen at? Listen.
Google Maytag.
Where'd that happen at? Okay, let's see. How
Google
many?
Maytag.
All right, so Maytag is your example. So we're gonna go with Maytag. All right, let's see. Maytag closes or opens. I will say opens. Opens U.S. factory.
No, stays open.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. So you're saying that a company that had a factory in America and workers in America didn't leave America? Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Because what your argument was that in making the changes to the tax, they were bringing the jobs back. And I asked you, well, where that happened at? Because I can tell you that due to the CHIP Act, there's 3 major manufacturers coming back to America, and they're building plants in Ohio. One of them's in like wherever that place with Minnesota. Is Minnesota? Where? I can't remember what state it is. It might be Minnesota, but Arizona. There's another place where they're building a big manufacturing facility for building.
How you not gonna answer my question? How you gonna go off
no, you didn't answer my question, so I just moved on. I asked you if you could tell me where jobs were brought back to America thanks to Donald Trump's tax cuts. And then you said Maytag, and then I looked it up to say, okay, so Maytag came back to America, and you said no, they didn't leave. Okay, so they didn't come back to America because what you said was they came back to America.
Google Maytag.
Right, the most June 2017. Maytag building wash machines here. They closed its doors in 2007, and I don't know. I don't understand. This is saying that they left. This article here says they left this place.
And when they come back?
I don't know. This is in 2017. It doesn't appear as if they came back. This appears as if they got the fuck up out of here. They gone. I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find what happened, but I'm asking you to tell me where this happened. I don't see the thing that you're saying. That Maytag came back to America. When I type in Maytag, I see is Maytag still in the USA? While very few appliances are made.
Go searching because.
Go ahead.
Let's go because I can't do no searching.
Oh, right? Okay. Don't worry about it. Here, let me just look this up real quick. I'm looking at the history of Maytag right now because you said Maytag, so we're looking at Maytag, and I just want to know if after Donald Trump did his tax cuts for the businesses that they say we're going to build another factory in America and bring them back. I don't. In 2006, I don't see it. I don't see this thing you're talking about. Sure.
You know how many businesses the United States got in China alone right now?
I'm sorry. Say what? Do I know? No, a lot.
The reason I've done this article, right? The reason I've done this skit, right, because I was talking about intellectual theft. And and I made a video. You probably remember about that invisible cloak dude who stole the invisible cloak. He was going to a school out here, the Asian dude.
Wait, that shit ain't real. That was a troll video, man. That's not real.
Okay, I'm probably home.
I see that over there. Is that real for real? That dude with the cloak? That shit ain't real, dog.
Yeah.
For real? Nah, man, you bullshitting. That shit ain't real.
He stole the shit. Went over there and made that shit and turned the shit to a millionaire, huh?
That shit is not real, man. No way.
They was using spies in our school, right?
For real?
Yeah. Anyway, I used that clip, right?
Yeah.
And part of that clip, you ain't freak. You know.
All right. So Indomitable Human says, the problem is I'm looking at the GDP on a per capita basis. When you look at the GDP per capita, GDP has been decreasing for the last 2 years, and that is what Americans feel. And well, factually, you're accurate, but that's not what a recession makes. So I agree with you that the compared to quarter over quarter, it's less, right? Less than what it was a quarter before.
You're gonna try to twist it any way to make.
I'm not trying to twist it. I'm only looking at the number and saying, okay, if you can't see the chart, right? Quarter one of 22, quarter two of 22. That's a recession. Those are two negative quarters in a row, right? Two negative quarters in a row is what makes a recession. We were in a recession there. That's a recession. This is not a recession. The fact that this one is lower than that one or this one is lower than that one. That's not a recession. A recession is two negative quarters in a row. This is a recession. Quarter 120, that's a recession. Negative 29% GDP, that's a recession. Not this here where quarter one of 24 was less than quarter four of 23. That's not a recession. It's contraction. It's less than, but it's not a recession. That's not what makes a recession. But I understand what he's trying to say. But it's not. It doesn't make it a recession. He says Foxconn Tech isn't Foxconn is that company that was supposed to build. Wait a minute, Foxconn. That's the one. That was the company that was supposed to be building the factory. And then they said, "Nah, we're not building that factory." Foxconn was the one where Trump went and took the picture. That's thank you, Indomitable Human. See, that's why I like this dude, man. He be coming through with the facts.
Can you Google something for me, right?
Sure, I'll Google whatever you want, man.
Google.
Oh shit, man.
Google the companies that Joe Biden EV energy is going to. Right? The money that who won, right? The people, the investors. See who invested in the green energy, right? And see who got rich off the green energy.
I don't know nothing about that one. All I know is when I typed in Foxconn Technology, all I got was a whole bunch of it gave me Asian writings and I don't know if this is Taiwan or what Chinese whatever it is. They ain't owned it. This is not an American company, but that's a good call though. And Foxconn Technology Factory didn't open.
What up, man?
Here we go. This is it right here. Foxconn Technology. Thank you, Indomitable Human. I appreciate you because I couldn't remember what it was. Now, Foxconn, that's the one he's talking right there. Foxconn Technology are just a few that came back from overseas. Foxconn abandons $10 billion Wisconsin project touted by Trump. And Joe Biden, due to the CHIPS Act, they're building a factory there based on contracts from the CHIPS Act. So good job, Joe. Thank you, Indomitable Human, for reminding me of what I forgot.
Oh, I said it's lots of money going out.
What was you talking? Oh yeah,
money going out, but ain't nothing being built.
Oh no, it's being built. They just started. They just broke ground. They just broke. Joe Biden just did a groundbreaking.
What?
I'm
what?
In Wisconsin.
When?
Here we go.
You said where?
This was Joe Biden, President Biden. This is May 8th, 2024. Biden to highlight $3.3 billion investment in Racine, Wisconsin, and how his investing in America agenda is driving economic comebacks in communities across the country. 6 years ago, the prior administration touted a $10 billion investment by Foxconn that never materialized. So Donald Trump went out there, did a groundbreaking. They said $10 billion is going to be a factory here. Never was built. Never was built. They abandoned it. Microsoft is building a $3.3 billion. I'm not sure if it's AI server farm or something like that. $3.3 billion. So that's Joe Biden. Donald Trump said he was going to do it. Didn't happen. Joe Biden said it's going to happen, and it's going. They broke ground on it. They're building that building right now.
When they started it? When did they start it?
Yeah, I just told you they broke ground on it May 8th, 2024. Microsoft is building a server farm there for AI.
First of all, they when they say breaking ground, I don't mean they actually put the shovel in the ground.
Well, sure, I know because Donald Trump put the shovel in the ground and then they didn't build nothing.
Well, you know what that means, Adrian?
No, I know what it means. I know Microsoft is building buildings all over the country. So why would they not build this one?
Huh? You know why it's not going to get built, or probably what will get built. You know why a lot of stuff don't get built under Joe Biden?
No, why?
And why that building's going to take so long to get built, and why so many people get paid before it even get built, if it get built?
No, why?
Because Joe Biden and Barack Obama, they put in a little something, you know what I'm saying, to stop the building of certain things, you know what I'm saying, where it get caught up in court a lot, called regulations, right?
Sure.
When you put a lot of regulations on certain things and projects like that, it take longer to build. You, as a builder, understand that. You, as a, you know what I'm saying, your line of business, understand that. When you put regulations on stuff, like, hey, you can't have this window right here. You can't have this such and such, this height right here. This door can't be right here. And some people and some sites, be like, fuck it. When the thing changed, this door can be right here. And this thing right here said, you know, the regulations changed. The less regulation, the cheaper and the faster you can build it, right? Donald Trump cut regulation. That's how he got Operation Warp Speed going and a lot of other things. He cut a lot of Barack Obama regulations. Joe Biden brought them back.
Okay. So how does that mean they're not going to build this building? But I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, there's regulations. Check this out though. I just saw this, right. It says Racine wants to renegotiate the agreement that will bring Microsoft to Mount Pleasant. So they did this is on June 7th. So they did the groundbreaking on May 8th. On June 7th, they're like, wait a minute, hold on a second. We need to renegotiate that. We need it. But look, hey, but check it out. And then so this other thing that's a little misleading, right? Is that
I need to read it.
There's a picture. There's a picture of a building being built. They got cranes and shit. But what it doesn't tell you is whether this picture is from the land where they're building this fucking thing. The picture doesn't say this picture is from this site. It just says that there is going to be an artificial intelligence data center built on land once slated for development by Foxconn in Mount Pleasant. But it doesn't tell you that this picture is from that. So I'm confused. A dispute between the city and the village of Mount Pleasant over water is threatening a multi-billion-dollar Microsoft artificial intelligence. Whoa. They're fighting over water? Let's see what's going on here. Wait a minute.
I told you. Man, I told you,
so the plan center
and course and all that shit. It's gonna take years to get that thing.
Racine. Okay.
But guess who's getting paid while it's going to court? The investors who got the company. They're gonna get invested in the company because why?
Oh, okay. No, this is what it is. This is what it is. Okay. So the other company was gonna build a bigger factory. They were gonna have more. They guaranteed more jobs. So Microsoft comes in. They're going to build a smaller plant, so that means there's going to be less jobs. So they want to renegotiate because the services so remember we were talking the other day about water and sewage and who provides it. Well, there's going to be a private contractor that's going to turn the pump on, but the government's the one that runs the shit. The city of Racine, Wisconsin says we need to renegotiate this water and sewer that we're going to be providing to you guys since. They probably give them a cheaper rate because there'd be more workers. Now there's going to be less workers. You're going to pay a different rate. So that's what's messing it up. The city has not approved water and sewer connections for Microsoft and other proposed developments in the village. You build that shit if you want to. You ain't going to have no water. That's crazy, though. But hey, you still there, Black, or you drop off? That's interesting, though. But thank you, and Down to Being Human though, because I could not remember what the name of that company was. Foxconn. They love to blame Obama. It's always Obama's fault. But look, listen, we need regulations. There you go. I hear you now.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Like I told you, the reason why they put all them regulations and they tie that shit up in court because when you call them when you give them company Senate whatever you pay them not to work but to have the company, you know what I'm saying, like Donald Trump was doing it and Joe Biden was doing it during the pandemic, like we're gonna pay you
we talking about like the stimulus when they're paying people to stay home. I lost you, Black. Oh man. Look, all I know is this: Joe Biden. I'm happy that they gave him whatever he needed to get his brain back in order. And if what they had to give him to get his brain back in order was a teleprompter, then we need to do that. we need to make sure that someone's by his side at all times to help him. So that way the words can come out faster. They got the notes laid out. So that way he can get to his talking point. He needs a little help with that. But he needs it for the next debate. He needs to throw away all the notes, throw away all the damn prep, shoot from the hip, and just bullshit. Trump is up there bullshitting, spitting lies the whole time. Just go up there and bullshit what? Trump.
What is he spitting a lie about?
What did Trump lie about? Let's see. Okay. I just said we never got credit for getting us out of the COVID mess. How did he get us out of the COVID mess? When he left, we were in the middle of it.
Because he left Joe Biden with a vaccine. He left Joe Biden with a lot of testing, a lot of...
I lost you again, Black. But even though, like, and I'm not going to give Donald Trump no credit, because Operation Warp Speed, even though it wasn't a success by his measure of what a success was, it did exist. And the vaccines were created, and they were ready to be distributed, even though Donald Trump didn't have the infrastructure to distribute it. Joe Biden, you have to give him credit, was able to mobilize the government to distribute the vaccine to places where people needed it. And it was able to get done very quickly. Actually, Trump got the stimulus from Obama, who signed off on it. I'm not sure what that is. Or are you talking? Oh, there you go. Black Trump.
What you want to see, that's what happens when certain people, you know what I'm saying, do certain things. Donald Trump get all the blame for supposedly everything he done bad, but he gets no credit for anything he done good. You feel what I'm saying? And if you use them standards, of course he's gonna be the worst president, the stupid and shit like that. If you use them standards, because if I say everything that Joe Biden done bad, you know what I'm saying, and nothing he done good, of course he's like a bad president. But really, there's nothing I can say that Joe Biden done good. You know what I'm saying? Running the economy, any so-called having one of our allies back, giving them the weapons they need to defend themselves, right? I can't say he done good on the border. I can't say he done good on the economy. I can't say he done good with COVID. I can't say he done good with testing. I can't say he done good with China trade. I can't say he done good with talking to the mothers in the family of dead military members and stuff. I can't say he done too much good on anything, you know, including the debate. So if I can point out everything Joe Biden done bad, because it's hard to say anything he done good. If you want to talk about the $25 prescription drug, and I told you that, right, and we was on the phone. I told you that 3 weeks ago, and you thought I was bullshit. I was like, Trump started that. You're like, no, he did not. And I told you Trump started that shit, and Joe Biden didn't even. I'm like, you only done one. No, I told you exactly how it happened and why it happened. And Joe Biden stole Donald Trump's idea. So all this idea shit, Donald Trump and Joe Biden's running on, that's Donald Trump shit.
Okay, so if you look at every president, right, for the last probably 50 years, every single one of them has something inside, some executive order, some policy on lowering prescription drugs for senior citizens, lowering Medicare costs. Joe Biden capped it and capped it on Medicare, $35. Donald Trump didn't do that. Donald Trump, don't cut me off because I know you're about to. Donald Trump cannot take credit for Joe Biden capping the cost at $35. Donald Trump did not do that. Donald Trump did reduce insulin costs. It was part of an executive order. It was part of his policy, but he didn't cap it at $35 for Medicare. So we can't take credit for it. And then Donald Trump got the drug company to agree that they would spread that $35 cost beyond Medicare, but to everyone. So Joe Biden did that. Joe Biden negotiated that. Donald Trump can't take credit because he said, hey, I also did that too. You didn't do what Joe Biden did because Joe Biden got him $35. So you didn't do
Okay,
it.
can
So-
I talk now? Can I talk
Wait,
now?
the next thing, the next thing, right?
Hold on.
Wait.
Let
The
me
next thing.
rebuttal that. Let me rebuttal that.
Donald
That was
Trump.
some bullshit. Let me rebuttal that because that was total some bullshit, right?
How
My
is it
shit
bullshit?
Gonna take
Go
less
ahead.
than 1 minute.
Go ahead.
My shit gonna take less than 1 minute
Go
because
ahead.
I ain't gotta say all that bullshit in between, right?
Go ahead.
All that was bullshit.
Sure.
Donald Trump
Why was it
Donald
bullshit?
Trump-
Why
hold
was it
on.
bullshit?
Hold on. I'm finna tell you. I didn't cut you off. Allow me to talk like I allowed you to talk. Don't cut me off like you said,
Yep.
right? All that shit was bullshit. First of all, Donald Trump had a press conference with the makers of the drug to say that they was cutting it to $35 for people that volunteer into a program, right? People were volunteering in the program, and the program was such a success, the drug companies decided to make it permanent. It happened, it was going to happen no matter if Donald Trump or Joe Biden was in office. But Donald Trump came up with the idea to cut the prescription drugs to 35%. The drug company, not Joe Biden. Joe Biden don't get any credit. He didn't sign no executive order. He didn't do anything. All he done, right? All he done is gave the drug companies what you call it? I forgot. Not incentive. The same thing they do with the fucking automobile and energy people. Gave them whatever that shit is, right? Gave them that, right? Joe Biden done nothing.
I just told you what Joe Biden did. Joe Biden did an executive order that
He didn't do no executive order. It wasn't no executive order. Google it. Wasn't no executive order.
What was it? What was it? It was
the company. I forgot the company name. The company done it, and Joe Biden signed it. What do you mean? The company did it. When you read the 35 did it, it gonna say the company did it, not Joe Biden.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second so I can just give me 1 second so I can give me 1 second so I can just throw out the bullshit you're talking about right now. As part of President Biden's historic Inflation Reduction Act, nearly 4 million seniors on Medicare with diabetes started to see their insulin costs capped at $35. Now, before you respond, there's no way that Donald Trump could have done it if it just happened in March of 2023. You understand that? If it was already happening, they couldn't say we just did it. They did this in March of 2023. So no matter how much you say that Donald Trump did it, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. Joe Biden did it, and it says it right here on the screen. This is from the White House, right? So I don't know what you're talking about when you say that Donald Trump did it. Donald Trump didn't do it. Eli Lilly announced they are lowering the cost of insulin by 70% and capping what patients pay out of pocket for insulin at $35. The president calls on Congress to finish the job and cap costs at $35 for all Americans. How did Donald Trump do it if Joe Biden did it? How could Joe Biden say, hey, look what we're going to do here? And they do it. And then Donald Trump gets to say 2 years later, hey, I already done that. When did you do it? Where? Show us where you did it. Okay, I'm showing you where Joe Biden did it. You show me where Trump did it.
Me?
Sure.
You gonna play it if I send it to you?
I'm not going to play a clip of Donald Trump telling me that he did it. Show me where he did it.
It's not that.
I don't want to hear someone else saying that Donald Trump did it. If you could just show me, like how I just pulled it up and said Biden did it, how it's on WhiteHouse.gov and it's a policy. I can show you where Biden did it, and I know what you're talking about on Trump, but you can't show me what I just showed you because it doesn't exist. So if you want to say that's a lie, that is a lie because Donald Trump said I already did it. He didn't do anything, and I said, well, no, he didn't do it because I'm showing you the law where he did it.
Next question.
Oh, let's see. Let me see. I got the transcript in front of me from Trump. I'm just going to go to where Trump says the next paragraph, and I'm pretty certain he's going to lie here. Oh yeah, this is where he says he beat Medicaid. He beat it to death. That was a good one. I like that one. Let's see. Foreign countries. I'm friends with a lot of people. No, there's nothing there. No lie in that paragraph. Let's see. let's see. This is a lie here. Everybody wanted to go back to the states. That's not true. Only people who wanted to go back to the states was the states that wanted to be able to take the right away. Let's see. Does he tell a lie there? Oh yeah, here he goes. He pulled up the Virginia thing. Yeah, here he goes. Here he goes. Trump. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth. If you look at the governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what to do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. Now, is that a factual statement that he said?
Yeah.
Right. But was he talking about killing a baby that was going to survive outside of a breathing machine, outside of life support?
Adrian, when is a baby a baby?
Just answer that question. Was he talking about killing a baby that would survive outside of a breathing machine, outside of life support? Was he talking about killing a baby outside of that?
He said the baby is made comfortable while the mother makes the decision.
Was he talking? Wait. You didn't answer my question. You didn't answer my question.
A baby has to be living, right, for you to make a baby comfortable.
Sure, the baby is living. The baby was born alive. So 1 for 1.
And what is the decision, Adrian? The decision is to do what?
The question is the baby?
No. The decision the decision Northam said the mother has to make when they make the baby comfortable. What decision does the mother have to make?
The mother gets to decide whether you want to keep the baby on the breathing machine to keep it alive, or not put it on the breathing machine and let the baby pass away, or live as long as they're going to live. That's the option. That's the option. Now I'm gonna put this back on the screen again because
so basically kill the baby.
Right. So this
basically kill the baby.
No, it's not basically. It's talking about no. Let me finish. This is what Ralph Northam said, and I'll read it again. I read it earlier. 3rd trimester abortions are done in cases where there may be severe deformities. There may be a fetus that's non-viable. You know what non-viable means, right?
Yeah, Margaret Sanger.
You know what non-viable? Do you know what non-viable means? You know what it means, right?
Margaret Sanger said the same thing. Yes, Margaret Sanger said the same thing.
Right.
Google her quotes.
Right. We're not talking about Margaret Sanger. We're talking about Robert Northam right now. We're talking about what Robert Northam said that Donald Trump referenced inside of his debate last night, where he's talking about killing a baby after it's born. Let me finish. That's not what. Wait. That's not. That is not.
The founder of Planned Parenthood said this.
We are not talking about Margaret. We're not talking about Margaret Sanger. We're talking about Robert Northam. Because we're talking about Robert Northam. Because we're talking about Robert Northam because that's who.
We're talking about.
Okay, wait.
We're talking about the baby.
No, wait. We're talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about Donald. Wait. We're talking about. We're talking. Listen. So who is Donald Trump talking about here? If you look at the former governor,
talking about the baby.
If you look at the former governor of Virginia, who is
talking about abortion?
Who is Donald Trump talking about here? You can't be honest.
Baby.
Listen. You can't be honest. If you look at the former governor of Virginia, who is Donald Trump talking about?
The baby. They killing.
Who is he talking
about? People killing babies.
Listen, you can't. You.
That was an example of.
You can't be honest. I'm trying.
The content of the topic was
okay. Well, I'm gonna.
Example. Wait, Adrian. He used one example that was public, right? As an example, it was in the content of he was talking about abortion. He was talking about the whole abortion. He even talked about ripping the baby, the 9th month, and all that. Before he used an example, that was only an example of inside the content of an abortion.
What he was doing was he was trying to provide an example.
Case closed.
It's not fucking case closed. It's not fucking case closed. What he was using was an example to try to prove his point. The problem is that let me finish. Well, let me finish talking. The point isn't proven. The point isn't proven if you understand fucking English, right?
They ain't got no mute button on here. I'm gonna mute myself.
Just stop talking.
Mute me right quick.
I can't even. There you go. I muted you. First off, Robert Northam says 3rd trimester abortions are done in cases where there may be severe deformities. There may be a fetus that's non-viable, not able to develop, grow, or survive. Not able to develop, grow, or survive. These babies will only live on life support, some type of breathing machine. That's it. That's their existence. And he says, in these instances, the infant will be kept comfortable. Why would they be kept comfortable? Because they're going to die. Whether we do something or not, they're going to die. So the mother gets to make a choice. Do you want to keep resuscitating this baby? Do you want to? You know what they're going to do to your black ass black when you find yourself in a hospital or in that position? They're going to say, hey, you know what? We keep resuscitating his ass, but shit. Damn. I keep fucking up. Can you hear me? I'm back. There we go. We keep resuscitating your ass, but he ain't going to survive. So do you want to keep him on life support? Do you want to keep bringing him back, or you want to let him go? That's the choice. He ain't going to live. So when Donald Trump says, which is a lie, that the Democrats want to just have a baby born and throw it on the table and then give the mother the choice to kill it, it's a fucking lie. It's not true. It's a misrepresentation of the facts. But the facts don't matter. There you go. Unmute.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
You hear me now?
I can hear you now. You were probably talking the whole time, wasn't you?
All right. Now, you saying that people have to make decisions, right, on pulling the plug or keeping the person alive, right? Or keeping the baby alive, right?
Wait, say it again?
Pulling the plug. You said a person has to make a decision on pulling the plug or keeping that person alive, right? Or that baby alive, right?
It'd be anybody. I mean, it'd be for you, for me, for anybody. Like they'd say, listen, he's not going to survive. We take him off these machines, he's dead. Do you want to keep him on the machines, or you want to fucking let him go? 35 days, and then we took him off the machines, and he passed away.
My mother was on the machine for 2 years, and I take her off, and she passed. So what?
I mean, it's a decision you have to make. It's up to the individual. Some people would say, I don't want my baby to live like this for 2 years. They're not. What kind of life is this? Let's let the baby go.
But the thing is, my mother was grown. This baby is undeveloped, right?
Sure.
Right, and like you say, physical deformities and stuff like that. That's cool. But if you look up under some of the things that is a reason why you do a third trimester abortion, it's not always because of the deformity. Sometimes they say it's because of the mother's health, not the risk of her dying or anything like that. It's something simple as health, and that can cover a lot of different things. That's a broad umbrella of the mother's health. So when you
you think that's not important? Like, I mean, not to cut you off, right? But you don't think that's important? Like, if someone said, "Hey, you know, if you had this baby, you might be fucked up," that the person should be like, "That's a decision they got to make." Wouldn't you think?
But if the baby is healthy, right? So you just said that if the baby didn't have a quality of life, and end it, because the baby wouldn't have a quality of life. What if the baby could have an opportunity to have a quality of life?
So you're saying that
is that in the mother's hand to end that baby's life?
Well, the baby's inside the mother. If the person was like, listen, I'm gonna be fucked up, maybe that person makes a difference.
But that baby has his own heartbeat. That baby has his own DNA. That baby has his own fingerprint.
I understand all those things.
He's his own entity. Who's gonna protect that baby?
The baby doesn't exist without the person it's growing inside of. So you're saying that the person who the baby's growing inside of doesn't get a vote?
Yes, she had a vote when she laid down and opened her legs up. That was her vote. That was her vote right there.
That's the wild shit.
Down, that's her legs up. That was her vote.
But that's
when a baby has a heartbeat, right? When a baby has a heartbeat, with his own blood, his own DNA, his own with everything, that's a baby.
Hey, Black, I got a great idea. You want to hear my idea is? You want to hear my great idea?
Huh?
I thought of this a little while ago, right? I think that there should be no child support, or no one should go to jail or lose their license for not paying child support. Like, I think that's bullshit. Like, I think if you don't pay child support and they take your license or they put you in jail, it just makes it worse for the kid. I believe...
It makes it worse for the daddy.
Well, I mean, it makes it worse for the kid because if you say that the person working, if the money they provide is necessary for the kid, if you lock the motherfucker up, he can't go to work. So you're just making it worse.
But the purpose is locking the nigga up because he didn't pay for the kid.
Right. So I have a better solution, right? Because that's just an excuse for him not to go to work because the motherfucker wasn't working or wasn't paying the bill anyway. I believe that if you make a baby and you end up in the government system of child support and you miss a payment, you should have to get your a vasectomy.
Hell no.
I believe that that's the only way to keep men from creating babies they can't afford to pay for and making them a burden on the state.
That goes on a cruel and unusual punishment. You can't do that.
So why wouldn't it be cruel and unusual to force this woman to have a baby when it's going to have a negative impact on her life and her health?
I was making a skit, right? And do you know what happens to babies when they abort babies? How they abort babies?
Nope. And you know what? I don't even care to talk about it. To be honest with you. I don't.
No, I'm just saying this is a human being, right?
I totally believe what you're saying. The mother who's having the baby is also a human being, right? So so when you say, hey, you know what, the mother could be seriously impacted through her health or death, she should still have the baby because the baby is a human being. But the person who's having the baby is a human being.
First of all, with the new with technology and medicine and the things we got now, it's very rarely that a woman is sick to the point where she can lose her life or be permanently scarred for life by having a baby.
Are you insane? Hey, Black, wait. Are you insane right now? Do you know that the survival rate for Black women particularly is the lowest in what is it like? In all of the fucking civilized countries in the world, America is the worst for the survival rate of Black women giving birth. What are you talking about? I mean, it ain't fucking 20.
I've done a show that, and you know why that is, right? And it's not because of women. It's a lot of different other things that's involved besides the baby that's dying and stuff like that. There's a lot of different other things that the body. A lot of Black kids die from SIDS, right? Like sudden infant death syndrome, right? A lot of Black, you know what I'm saying, baby may roll over, smother, mother don't know how to birth the baby, feed the baby, you know what I'm saying? Baby may drive. A lot of Black babies die from SIDS because the mothers have no training, right? And a lot of Black mothers are also young, right? So a lot of Black babies die from SIDS and stuff like that. So if you're going to say the cause, you got to understand why. And a lot of them die from hunger and, you know what I'm saying, poisoning. It's a lot of different things where a lot of babies die at an early age. So that stat is not really a stat where we should be like, oh, the infant mortality rate, and also the reason why ours is higher than other countries because a lot of countries their infant mortality rate is 3 months. Ours is 18.
We're talking about the mother. We're just talking about the mother. We ain't talking about the baby. We're talking about the mother.
Why not? The baby is a human.
Well, we're not talking about the baby. We're talking about the mother.
Well, I don't
because you said mothers don't die giving birth. That's why we're talking about the mother.
Mothers don't die. I said it has gotten better with technology, medicine, and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So this article
has gotten better with women not
I'm sorry.
dying.
This is an old article. I don't want to read this one. This is from 2014. I don't want to read that. It's too old. Let's find
lots of women know
this article says that it's worse now than it was 20 years ago.
No,
but that was in 2014.
With technology,
but I want an article from
sooner.
Sooner.
Why they can't give birth and the danger they can give and what they got to do to give a higher percentage in birth, right? Because you go to the doctor, they can do X-rays and stuff and all kind of things to see what's wrong with your body. They see why you're not having babies, why you can't produce no baby, why you can't get pregnant, and all that. Why babies keep dying, why you keep losing babies, what you got to do to keep safe, you know, for you to have this baby. It's all kind of ways and education that people that can go to, right? And like pro-life centers where women go to, and they have a different aspect on having babies than when you go to the abortion clinic, you know what I'm saying, and have an aspect on having a baby. It's two different things.
But what I was on, and I'm not defending abortion. I'm only talking about when you're talking about the women may be about to die or something, but you know what I'm saying, the baby's what's important. And I'm saying to you, how do you legislate that the person who has to care for this baby inside of their body by providing prenatal care, keeping it alive, also knows that it's going to kill it? It's going to kill. That should be a personal decision, not a government decision. The government shouldn't say, well, you got to have this baby because we need the baby more than you anyway. The baby's going to live longer than you. The baby's going to pay more taxes than you. It's insane to me. I don't understand it, but I do kind of get it. You know what I mean? Because it's like the
Adrian.
Sure.
What happens? Okay, if you mistreat a baby outside of a womb, what happens to you?
What do you mean?
If a baby is 1 day outside of a womb and you mistreat that baby, what will happen to you?
I don't know. You'd be punished. I
guess. So if you're 9 months pregnant and you mistreat a baby, right? So nothing happen to you. I mean, you kill the baby, do whatever. When it's 9 months.
The only instance where this would happen is if it was in instances where the mother's life was at risk. So I'm lost at what you're trying to say. I'm lost at what you're trying to say because there's not a 9 month. There's not a 9.
That is not the only criteria.
Okay, then show me an instance where someone got. Show me an instance where. Hey, Black. Show me an instance where there's 9 month abortions with people who are perfectly healthy that didn't want to have the baby. That they said at 9 months I don't want to have it. Do you have any instances of this?
First of all, Adrian, you can't. First of all, medical practices are kept private. They would never be put in the public where they can say this girl had a 9 month abortion. They wouldn't have if they had a 3 month.
Well, they're not. Well, it's not private anymore because of Roe versus Wade. So it's all public. It's all public information.
No, you can't. A woman, what a woman does with her doctor is private. She can't.
That's what Roe versus. That changed. That when Roe versus Wade was that's what Roe versus Wade was about. That's what Roe versus Wade was about.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, never mind. Don't worry about it.
You can't make a patient doctor information public.
Right, so let me ask you. So let me ask you a logical question here, right? And please just answer as honestly as you can. How would the government be able to prosecute a person for performing an abortion or for having an abortion if all of their records are confidential and the government doesn't have access to it? How?
Because you also have to write a death certificate, right, for certain things, right? And when you write a death certificate, the doctor who gives an abortion is not the doctor who writes the death certificate. And the doctor who writes the death certificate, right, they got to show the cause of death. And the cause of death, you know what I'm saying?
A woman has an abortion at 3 months. How is there a fucking death certificate, Black Rosebud?
What? We talking about late-term abortions.
Abortions are made. Roe versus Wade was about the ability of the government to invade your privacy by determining whether you're fucking pregnant.
No.
And then, never mind.
Adrian,
never mind.
The rule was to protect the life of the baby. It's not to protect the life of the mother. So the Roe v. Wade, right?
You have no idea what you're talking about.
It's to protect the life of the baby.
You have no idea what you're talking
about. Okay. I'm telling you what conservatives are talking about when it's the Democrats keep on saying the life of the woman, the life of the woman. It's the Republicans who keep on saying the life of the child. Right, they protecting the life of the child. That's why when they had a bill,
you keep jumping around and changing the subject. You keep jumping around and changing the subject.
How does that change the subject?
Because initially we're talking about a woman giving birth with her life at risk, and you said the mother should die. So I was kind of focusing on that. Like I don't know.
I didn't say the mother should die.
You said the baby should be born. So if the mother's gonna die when the baby's born, then the baby's gonna die.
They also do C-section. They also do C-section stuff like that.
All I'm saying is that if the woman says, I don't want to risk my life to have this baby, she should be allowed to say that.
At 9 months?
Sure.
Okay. If that's what you agree with, I mean, that's your point of view. I have nothing to say about that. I have nothing to say about it. If you believe a woman should be aborting a baby at 9 months, you know what I'm saying? I have nothing to say about that.
Well, especially if she's going to die, or if her life is seriously at risk, or maybe handicap, deformity, or of other. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, hey, listen. So look, you said that the Roe versus Wade was not about right to privacy, right? The parties appealed this ruling to the Supreme Court in January. The Supreme Court issued a 7-2 decision in McCorvey's favor, holding that the due process clause of the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution provides a fundamental right to privacy which protects a pregnant woman's right to an abortion. It also held that the right to abortion is not absolute, must be balanced against the government's interest in protecting women's health and prenatal life. And that's why there's different state rules about the viability. But when this was struck down, it allows the government to look into a woman's a medical condition and determine whether she's pregnant. Because you can't punish her for being pregnant if you didn't know she was pregnant. And the only way you can prove it is if you can get her fucking medical records, which now they can do. But I'm not even big on abortion. I just know that Donald Trump was lying about that part. And then he says it again. And then he says it again. Let's see. One more Donald Trump lie before I go to bed. Or one more Biden lie. Let's see what Biden lied here. He says MAGA Republicans are going to pass a universal ban. That's it's conjecture. I don't know if it's true or not. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where he was president. He was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. Was that was Joe Biden said that. Barack Obama was doing that too. He says Joe Biden also said 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. Well, I guess if you open up the net of what's legal, I guess he made it more legal to cross the border. So there's that. I don't know.
It's a lie.
This motherfucker, Trump's response to that was, I don't really know what he said at the end. This is a Trump line here. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people from mental institutions, insane asylums, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming to our country right now. All terrorists all over the world. All over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere. Now, I've never seen any evidence that people are being released from prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums. I've not seen one piece of evidence. I've only heard Donald Trump say it. Have you ever seen?
Google crime goes down in Venezuela by 70%.
I've already done it. That's not true. But the question is
Google empty balls inside of Venezuela.
What I want to see is that there's an insane asylum in Venezuela that's empty, and the people that were in it are in America now. That's what I want to see.
You want the Venezuelan? When the last time you watched the Venezuelan news, or when the last time you watched any news?
Never. But if Donald Trump says it, it has to come from somewhere. So if he says, "Hey, they let people out of mental institutions so that way they can cross the border," the question anyone, just a reasonable person, should say, "Where? When did this happen? What's the evidence of that?" Right? And then someone could present it. You can't just say, "Oh, look, in Venezuela there's less crime now." What the fuck does that mean? Maybe they got more police. I don't know. Maybe they're killing. Maybe they changed their policy on how they deal with criminals, and people don't want to do crime anymore.
Okay, we're gonna go with number one, right? We're gonna go with the immigrants, right?
Sure.
It was the immigrant. I just done a story. I'm doing a story. Hopefully you come on my channel because I want you to see it, right? Tomorrow we're gonna do something like this on my channel because I'm editing the video. But part of one of the videos, one of the immigrants, right? This is a new case. One of the immigrants, um, he shot two police officers or some shit like that. But he was saying about how the immigrants are using some of these immigrant camps to smuggle drugs and guns in. He was part of the Venezuela Triloso gang. You know what I'm saying? He basically was snitching on him. You know what I'm saying? Talking about because he was delivering food on the Uber Eats the shit, right? And his homie told him to hold a gun, and he got caught with it. And he riding the wrong way on the moped and shot the police. But he was saying a lot of these immigrant camps are smuggling guns and dope, you know what I'm saying, to America, you know what I'm saying, through the gang shit. So when Donald Trump said they're releasing motherfuckers from prison, these are some of the people who are being released from prison. Now, when you say that there's no show you proof, right? I can do better than that. I can film some of the motherfuckers, right?
Sure.
Because I talked to some of the people. They some of these people are downtown.
Okay, so this is an article that I just found on CNN, right? If you trust CNN. This is from April 29th, 2023. It says Trump's own campaign. This isn't CNN says this. This isn't Fox News. Trump's own campaign cannot find proof of his mental institution immigration story. He made this motherfucker up. He's been telling it for over 2 years. On at least three occasions over the last 2 months, former President Donald Trump has claimed that the leaders of unnamed South American countries are deliberately emptying their insane asylums and mental institutions to send the patients to the United States as migrants. In each version of the dramatic story, Trump has claimed he heard it from a doctor, right?
I can't. Now, me personally, I can't vouch for the mentally ill or the same, but I can vouch for the prisoners. I can't vouch for that. Right now, he could be right on that, but like I don't know who's mentally ill and who's like that from Venezuela, but it could be some of these motherfuckers El Salvadorians that say they got released from prison early and they got to pass out here or a flight out here, right? And I talk and I was amazed because look, this is what happened, right?
Yeah.
I was downtown, right, and I saw an article, right? A joke on Instagram, like Venezuelans, the new niggas, right? And they were showing them on the block, hanging on the block on the corner, right? So when I went downtown, right, I used the joke like, hey, them the new, cause they was sitting on the bench and they looked like niggas. They was dark and shit, right? And they was dressed in like whatever little hand-me-downs and shit they had, but they was like whatever hip-hop shit they had, hand-me-downs and shit. I like, so them the new niggas, like, no, them the Venezuelans, right? And they tell me about the Venezuelans, right? Before I was finna run it down to them, because I know they don't watch the news about, I could ask them about the prison shit, about that and this, right? But they told me, right? So when I went to ask the motherfucking Venezuelan, they got like, yeah, we got released from prison, you know what I'm saying? But the black people was telling them, right, like, if you're gonna fuck with black people, you can't fuck with the Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? Because the Mexicans come up to this park, and you know what I'm saying? And they were like, okay, we're gonna fuck with y'all. So the Venezuelans want to fuck with the black people down there and not the Mexicans. Not to say they're gonna change up later on, but right now they trying to fuck with the black people because they gotta stay down there with the black people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of these motherfuckers got released from prison.
Hey, you know what? I think now I know who Trump was talking about when he was talking about them black jobs. He talking about them Venezuelans. They taking the black jobs, sitting on the corner and selling drugs. Because that's the next step. First you look dressed like a drug dealer, then you start selling drugs.
And that's why I always did a joke like they the new niggas, but they wasn't selling drugs though.
Yeah, nah. They just out there.
But the Cubans down there, they've been down there for years. They down there selling drugs like a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? But the Venezuelans, they just got there. I guess they ain't found their way in yet, you know what I'm saying? So they down there and they just trying to hang and find a way, you know what I'm saying, find somebody hanging around with it attached to it. But it's a lot of them down there, and it's a lot of bad bitches. A lot of bad homeless Venezuelan bitches down there in tents, cooking and tamales and shit. You're like, God damn. I'm telling you, I'm gonna film some of them. They don't even look. You wouldn't know, but these bitches be going out today cooking, like selling fruit and all this other shit. You be seeing some bad bitches selling fruit, right? Bitch, you selling some more shit than fruit. This is one bitch, right? She bad as fuck from head to ankle because I don't know what country she come from, but her feet is fucked up, and she always wears sandals. Like, if she didn't wear no sandals, she would be one of the baddest bitches in the world.
Is she legal? Is she legal?
Huh?
Is she
no,
legal?
She's not legal because she dark skinned, but she come up you and try to sell you some fucking jewelry. She be about to fucking chase ATM. Try to sell you some jewelry. You be trying to say no, but she don't understand English, and she be like, nothing. And you're like, no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But she be trying to like damn near force it on you. You know what I'm saying?
She understand English. She understand English.
But you look at her feet, you be like, what the fuck is wrong with your feet? Like, she brown skinned, but her feet is black as a motherfucker, like, and they ashy as a motherfucker. Like, you know you can put some lotion on these motherfuckers. They shouldn't be ashy.
They ain't got no money for no lotion like that. She got to buy she got to buy the product to sell on the street. Listen, she out there she's selling something. Look, I saw something I never seen before, right? When I went to Connecticut last month, right? I've been driving this route for 30 years, right? Going up I-95 and going into New York, you fucking gotta go across George Washington Bridge. It's always congestion. It's always, bumper to bumper, right? Get up there, and we're about to get onto the bridge, and then there's like these Hispanic women out there with like fruit, fucking churros, on the highway, on the fucking highway. I said, these motherfuckers is standing on the highway? You know what I'm saying? So it was like bumper to bumper traffic, so it's not really moving. So they just out there. They're just out there in the middle of the fucking lane, just selling churros, selling fruit. I was like, God damn.
That's everyday look. They got a couple of blocks out here, right? They got a couple of blocks out here. If you stop at the block, an immigrant that don't speak English would just come to your window and squirt some shit on your window, get the wipe in your window. You go, hey, no, I don't need no window wipe. No. They would just, like, you don't even ask, you know what I'm saying? They ask you for $1 and shit. It's like, you can't even stop at the corner. It's like, then one motherfucker come out there juggling this shit with some balls. All at the light, my nigga. Like, what the fuck?
But this is the highway, though. This is the fucking interstate.
Other people some fruit coming down the motherfucker. Look, nigga, I haven't never bought so much fruit in my life. Nigga, you can buy a pound of strawberries for $1.
Where did you get them fruits from, man? They smuggling them?
The fruits. Nigga, their fruits is right there on the corner. It's the nigga with a cart of fruits. All that shit for $1. Every day, nigga, you get fruit for $1. Big ass thing of it. Nigga, I ain't never to the influence.
What you complaining so more about them? Why you complaining so much about them then? You know what I'm saying?
They ain't paying no motherfucking taxes.
You sound like you got a good deal.
No, I am. Don't think I don't buy the motherfucker. Don't think I don't buy them. Hey, don't take advantage of that shit.
Jola said this to you, Black. He says, Black, it was okay for Ron DeSantis to pack those people up and have them taken elsewhere.
Pack what people up?
The people, the migrants that they got in Florida, which they took them from Texas, they brought them to Florida, then they shipped them to New York.
Hell yeah, it was good to do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You can't do that shit no other country. Go to China or Russia, any other motherfucking country in the world, and see can you do that. You can't do that in any other country. Do the shit the migrants do over here. In Europe, they look what the motherfucking immigrants doing to Europe over there. In any country that don't have borders is getting their ass tore up right now. And people say, hey man, allow this and allow that. It's okay because you rolling with a certain part in a certain factory, but that shit is not right? If you just look at my neighborhood, if you just lived in my neighborhood, you probably don't live around the people, so it probably don't affect you the same. You don't compete with jobs with these motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about these motherfuckers breaking in your car, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about these motherfuckers shooting at your kid. You ain't got these motherfuckers coming over here and being part of a gang that's automatically racist towards black people and shit like that. You ain't got to worry about none of that. So it's easy for you to say bring them more over here and bring them over here when you don't have to compete with living situations with them. You know what I'm saying? Your people ain't got to compete with jobs with them and shit like that. You know, so and then when they come over here, they like I said, I never had problems with racial things with white people. It's always been the Mexicans with me, and black and Mexicans in LA do not really get along. You know what I'm saying? And you mean that we're gonna bring more and more over here? Nah, they do not get along. We do not get along. I don't know how to get along in other places and shit like that. But if you know LA, Mexicans and blacks do not get along.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
Yeah, they do
It
not.
sounds terrible. I don't know
All
what
the
the
best
answer is.
sports in.
And, I was listening to someone talk the other day, right? And they was talking about these people that are coming over here and why they're coming and what their ask is, right? Because they're leaving something. They're leaving something that's a terrible situation, and they have a right based on the international community to seek asylum based on what's happening in their home countries. Now, how do we reduce those numbers and how do we limit the people and fix their places? Like there's a lot more of investment that has to be done. What's up, little mama? But I don't know, how we resolve that problem. But I know that
You know how to resolve the problem? I'm gonna tell you what the Venezuelans say, right? And I done, and this part of the skit I done. This made perfect sense, right?
Sure.
And think about this: America is purposely doing this immigration shit on purpose, right? Because when we say Donald Trump say we're taking the country's worst, we're also taking their best, right? Because the best people, the doctors and lawyers, and the people who can be part of a productive society, they are coming over here. So when America cripple these countries of their strong, intelligent, independent workers and things like that, you cripple them companies economically, right? Because you also have most of their good workers. They say if the United States would control their borders and let us keep some of our workers over here, we could have a strong economy.
Well, that's one way to look at it. But the people that come here that seek asylum are escaping something, right? And they have to have cause. I don't know. I don't know exactly how the system works, right? Everyone who walks across the border doesn't get asylum. Like the guys are walking across and they're saying they seek asylum and then they get processed.
They hold interviews with people at the border all the time, and most of the people say they come to work. They're looking for a better life. They didn't say nothing about they running from something. They, you know what I'm saying, their country at war, or they say they're looking for a better life. They come to America to work. That's not running from anything.
The people that are coming here to work are it's a different category that we're talking about that I'm talking about. I'm not talking because I don't know how that process works, right? And I'm not gonna act like I'm versed.
And we got people from every country coming over.
I'm not saying that they're not. What I'm saying is that I'm not that versed in the immigration process of all the people that are trying to come across the border. The only one I'm speaking about is the people seeking asylum, because those are the ones that are allowed to stay. Those are the ones that they're putting up in these hotel rooms. Because someone who walks across the border and says they want a job, they're not getting the same treatment as an asylum seeker. That's different. Different.
Can I ask you a question? Who
Sure.
to tell the difference? Who to tell the difference? If I was a terrorist, right, what would I come over here and say? I would come over here and say I'm an asylum seeker. I'm running from my country. I would say everything the immigrants are saying to get over here. If I was an asylum seeker, right?
Sure.
You
Does everybody get asylum, or do some people get sent back?
Huh?
Does everybody get asylum, or do some people get sent back?
We're gonna put it like this: if we're gonna leave it with the CNN people say, right? This is not what I said. This is not what Trump said. This is what the CNN people said, right? The moderators. Under Joe Biden, it's been 6.9 of them to triple of what Trump had, right?
Sure.
Like and Trump didn't have the same things you had. What's wrong? Why you can't close the border? See, this is CNN, and Joe Biden couldn't answer that question, right? So when you say that Trump don't have no policy for the border and all these asylum seekers and all this old stuff, no, it's 7. He has like 7 million more migrants than Donald Trump had in that period of time. Right, and when he left office, it was the lowest point in 35 years that immigrants came over. Right, so and you want to talk about inflation? We don't have extra supply, but we do have extra demand. When you bring 10 million extra people over here to buy the same goods in the same neighborhood that I buy goods from, guess what? The price is going to go up because it's more demand and it's less supply. So So when you bring somebody over here to compete with anything over here, jobs and everything goes up because it's less of it's less of a supply and it's more of a demand.
Okay. So, but my question was, does everybody that come over seeking asylum get to stay?
We don't know.
Well, the answer is no. Everyone that comes over doesn't get to stay. Most of them get sent back. Most of them get deported. They say, no, your claim is denied. Some people get to stay longer than others because some people get a court case because they're able to prove some facts that allow them to get more processing. But most of the people are sent back. It's like, nope, you don't have a claim. You don't have a case.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. But you know, there's certain people that came over and they get back, right? Like the dude how they say who shot at the police,
Yeah.
the dude who raped the little girl, right? And put it under and killed and put her under the bridge, right? The dude that killed the mother, right? The immigrants is committing these crimes every single day that you look on the internet, right? These are also the people that got in. So if you let 9 million people in the country, right, and let's see 1% of them people is bad, right? That's 9,000 people or 90,000 people in the country that's doing pure evil shit.
Well, you listed 3 stories and then you got to 9%.
No, I said if we use 1%, we say there's 9 million illegal immigrants that came over here under Joe Biden, and let's say 1% of them people, right, are people that's killers and rapists and deal drugs and pimp women and all that. Let's say 1% of them people, right, and all the rest of them people are good people, right? They're asylum seekers and people look for jobs and shit like that, right? But if you don't control the 9 million people over here and the 90,000 people that snuck over here, that come over here to do the fucked up shit, that's going to fuck it up for the 90 million people. So what you need to do is you need to have some kind of system like Donald Trump had where you do asylum seeking in other countries, right? And then you do your asylum seeking and all that over there, and then we give you your permission to come over here, how it's supposed to be. But now you got people skipping whole steps coming over here, and the richest people is the people that's the coyotes that's smuggling people over the border. They are getting rich. Did you see their army? Did you see the Mexican army and all that shit and the shit they got and how much money they get from smuggling? They making a killing.
All right. So one of the things you said was, yeah, I was trying to be polite and I forgot what I was about to say. Actually, it's probably just been awake too damn long. The people who keep getting deported, right? And crossing the border. The guy specifically, the one in Baltimore that was deported 3 times, right? Would you say he's a criminal, right? You say this guy is a criminal. He's not an asylum seeker, right? He keeps getting processed. They keep sending his ass back. They keep catching him and sending him back. He's sneaking across the border. I don't understand why you put him in the category of someone who's an asylum seeker. This is the person who's hell bent to get across the border. The other guy who I don't even know if it's true or not, who they claim was wanted for murder or some shit in Mexico. Well, that's not a person who qualifies for fucking asylum here in America. If they knew that he was wanted for murder in Mexico, they wouldn't have allowed him to come across the border as an asylum seeker, which means that he snuck across the border in a different kind of a way. It's not the same thing. So I understand what you're saying, but I don't agree with what you're saying because there's a potential for criminals to be out there anyway. And to your point about the number and how many there could be, black people make up 13% of the population, right? We make up 13% of the population, and our black people are a high percentage of the violent crimes committed in America. They could take those exact same stats, the way you just did it for those damn the immigrants, and they could do the same thing for blacks. And then they could say, you know what? Maybe we should treat these black people differently because they appear to be violent. Because even though 90% of them don't do anything wrong, that 10% is a motherfucker, and that 10% is committing a whole lot of fucking crimes. So maybe we should treat them a little bit differently. Maybe we should, which they did, black, with the 94 crime bill. So I throw away this idea that there's something we can do by targeting a specific group of people and punishing them based on our belief that, based on who they are, they're more violent or more prone to crime. I don't agree.
Nobody said that they're more prone to crime, right? What we're saying is that it's bad people coming over to the border, right? And we already were part of a terrorist attack, right? And it's already been people who have been threatening us. It was just somebody who got caught in New York, right, with all kind of terrorist weapons, about to go commit a terrorist attack. Lucky that the FBI caught him. And I'm telling you what the FBI said. The FBI said our border is weak. This is what every FBI Ray said in testimony, right, in front of Congress, right?
Sure.
This is the most vulnerable time we have ever been, right? Especially with people coming over the border and the terrorists we're catching and planning stuff. This is the most vulnerable we've been. So you can say whatever you want, but the director of the FBI said this is the most vulnerable time we have been in years, and you can Google that if you want to.
Now, I believe
so you can say what you want to.
I'll take your word for it because the threat is there, right? So
you can say what you want to, and in order to stop that threat, you must control your borders, because the number one threat to the interior of your country is coming from the border. So if the FBI director said this is the most dangerous time, you know what I'm saying, we ever been in, especially after the September 7th thing, right? Why wouldn't we secure the borders if the director of the FBI said this is dangerous? It's going to be attacked.
But if that's the case, then why would the Republicans block the bill?
He didn't block the bill because Joe Biden done the same thing in the bill that he said he was going to do. You know what I'm saying? If the bill wasn't going to pass, it's the same thing. If the border reached this amount of people, he's going to shut it down, which he hasn't yet, because the border has reached that many people. Even if you ask the Hispanic, ain't nothing shut down. It actually increased. But Joe Biden just ain't acted on his so-called closing the border thing yet, right? So Joe Biden set rules, but he doesn't implement the law. That's why they try to impeach the Attorney General, because he's not doing his job.
So there wasn't a bipartisan border bill that was agreed upon in the Senate? There was not a bipartisan border bill that was agreed upon in the Senate, and then
it was two of them. It was a Republican. It was a Republican. It was a Republican bipartisan bill that was brought up over 2 years ago that never passed.
The Republican bill was
also Republican.
The Republican bill wasn't. The Republican bill wasn't bipartisan. It was voted along the party lines, and it wasn't going to get passed in the Senate. And but the Senate bill was bipartisan, right? And Republicans supported the bill. Lindsey Graham supported the bill. He's the most prominent Republican I can think of that supported the bill, but there's a lot of Republicans. There's more than one that Republican that supported the bill, that supported that bill, right? And the House Representatives chose not to.
It was people who were going to support that bill before Donald Trump even spoke out about it. They was already speaking.
But you do admit though that Donald Trump did. But you do admit that Donald. But you do admit that Donald Trump did say, "Don't do this."
Donald Trump never said that. People assume he said that. He never said that.
Okay,
you can't find one video where he said that. They say he listened to Trump. Trump never said that. That's just something that people run on. They say they listen to Trump. Trump this, Trump. They're gonna blame everything on Trump. You never heard Trump say that. He never said it.
Let's see. All right, so let's see. This is from NBC News. Within 48 hours of the release of the long-awaited immigration and foreign aid bill he had championed, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican counterpart, rejected his pitch to support it, knifed the deal, and left it for dead. It was a jarring moment on Capitol Hill that pointed to a changed landscape. The Kentucky Republican, a one-man power senator for more than a decade, has seen his influence with his fellow senators wane as his party continues to transform into the right-wing populist mode of Donald Trump. The former president, who fiercely opposed the border deal and has long pushed fellow Republicans to turn away from McConnell, is cruising to a third consecutive GOP nomination. Okay, I want to see what Trump said.
I'm going to say Trump had never said it, bro. I'm telling you.
Hold on a second.
He never said it. They say, it followed in his footsteps all of them doing what Trump saying.
Yep.
He's a Trump crony. He never said all of them just use that the Trump shit to try to pin it on him and make it seem like Trump said it. He never said it. They always assume he opposed of it. He done this. He never said it.
Yeah, that's. Well, I haven't seen it, so I guess
He never said it.
I can't say that he. Oh, here we go.
You
Here we go.
you
Never mind. Nope.
you
Just found it. Just
said-
found
you
it.
said
Just
he
found
said
it.
He never said it, bro.
Just never mind. I take it back. I didn't hear him say it, but now I just found where he said it. Trump calls border bill a death wish for Republican Party. Don't be stupid. This is from February 5th, 24. Former President Donald Trump excoriated a bipartisan border security bill put forward by senators, calling it a death wish for the GOP on Monday, hours after it was released. Only a fool or a radical left Democrat would vote for this horrendous border bill. So he did say it.
No, he didn't say don't vote for
He
it.
did say it. No, he did say. He said only a fool would vote for it. He did say it. He said don't vote for this. He's showing opposition. The reason why we can't show him where he's saying it because he put it on Truth Social and no one goes over there. That's all right. Anyway, hey Black, what time you going live tomorrow or today? Because it's today now. Shit.
What time you going live? Or what time you want to go live?
Yeah, I'm shit. Whenever I'll be up. Well, I said that today and I was fucking asleep, so I'm lying.
Cause I'm gonna kill you on my video.
Oh shit.
I'm gonna kill you because you know what I'm saying. This is your arena. You know what I'm saying. On my arena, we spit facts.
Oh no. We're gonna
show some real videos and some real facts.
We're gonna do Republican facts again. Oh shit.
No, I'm gonna do Joe Biden.
Oh.
This is I don't keep 100. This is a conservative. You're gonna have to answer, right? Because I want to ask J.A. right before we leave. Right?
Joel, yeah.
I want to ask J.A. right after yesterday, after watching his so-called president, after President Xi, after Vladimir Putin, right? After all these world leaders across the world with these nuclear weapons, right? All with Cuba being circled by Russian ships 60 miles off the Florida coast, right? With the world in a peril right now, Jews getting the shit beat out of them.
Okay.
Right? Do you want? How can you vote for someone that's going to represent the country with a performance like that? Remember, the world knew he spent a whole 10 days in the bunker getting prepared and notes and all that, right? The whole world came out and saw him like that. So I'm asking you, J.A., how can you vote for something like that?
Hey, look, this is what Jola said to me. I put this video up, and I said, what's the title of this video? Joe Biden just lost the election or something like that? Jola said to me, Biden did not lose the election. If anything, he showed the world who Trump is. Jola is on board. He down with the team. He had to pull me back into the fold. He had to pull me back in.
And Jola, that's easy for you to say, right? But they set a low bar for Joe Biden, and he still couldn't pass it.
Sure.
So you saying that they showing Donald Trump exactly who he is. You're right. And Donald Trump supporters right now have their chest in the air. There's nothing you can say that can say, well, Joe Biden tied or it was Donald Trump was lied to. If that's the only thing you can say to make it an even match, go ahead. But the truth is, if the truth is, if they both liars, Trump a better liar. If they both tell the truth, Joe Biden tells the truth worse.
Well, you're damn right about that. He told the truth terrible. He told the truth terrible. But look, I'm going to take my ass to bed, man. Tomorrow. You hit me up tomorrow whenever you're ready to do it. Or give me a little heads up before you go. I'll be over there. I'll take my lumps with you. I'll take my lumps because I'm willing to say that Joe Biden did a terrible job, but I don't concede that he's going to lose the election. I'm still down with Team Biden until they replace him with Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris or somebody else.
You want Gavin Newsom? You want California?
I'll take Gavin Newsom. I'll take Gavin Newsom.
He got 44%. He in a liberal state. He got 44% approval rate.
Hey, he doing a great job, man. He doing a great job.
What? In taxes?
Everything.
In immigration?
Sure.
Right, we got the highest taxes. We got the highest taxes in the country.
Look, they also got the highest revenue in the country. Donald Trump said revenue was good, right? Wait. Hold.
We don't.
So California
We don't
doesn't
have
have
the highest revenue. We in debt right now. We used to have the highest revenue before.
No. Wait, that's deficit. That's a deficit based on the revenue is how much money they made, but there's still a deficit because they spend too much. See, Donald Trump said we had more revenue than we've ever seen. Okay, the revenue is higher than it was last year. Thank you. We spent more money than we did last year, so it didn't help us. See,
man,
see how that works?
California is going broke, man. Did you just see that?
America's going broke.
Man? Did you see this shit happen in San Francisco? So we got it's the rich getting rich and the poor getting poor, right?
Sure.
So when you say is revenue is this, that's because Silicon Valley and all these rich people that live out here,
yeah,
right? That pay all these taxes, high property taxes and shit like that. It's not because of the broke people. A lot of broke people get social programs and shit like that, and they really don't pay no taxes.
Look, the revenue in California, I just pulled it up, higher than it's ever been. 210, is this billions? $210 billion in 24. That's the revenue. Now the expenditures, 223 billion. So they spent 223 billion. They brought in 210 billion. So they ain't a whole 13 billion. But what's 13 billion amongst friends? But this is the exact same thing Donald Trump said to us last night, right? He said, hey, the greatest economy we ever had. We had revenue higher than it's ever been. True. The deficit was greater than it had ever been. And over 4 years, we produced more debt than we'd ever done than with any other president over 4 years. And he produced 1/3 of the national debt that we have now. It's 1/3 of it.
We already said why. You know what I'm saying? We talking about he had to go with the he had to open up the Patriot.
But do you not think that Gavin Newsom has the same? He was president during COVID. You think he doesn't have the same excuse? He can't say the same thing?
Because Gavin Newsom was funded by federal government. That's why Gavin Newsom told Donald Trump, "Thank you," and Donald Trump has been there and gave me everything I wanted. And when I picked up the phone, Gavin Newsom thanked Donald Trump.
So you're saying that?
Guess what? Donald Trump gave California everything it needed.
Sure.
Federally.
All right, man. Yo, hit me up tomorrow. Hey, thanks for clicking the play button, y'all. I appreciate it. This is a good video. I had a good time.